thank you everybody for joining us today. We have some 3C2A playoff action here. First round playoffs here in the Northern California area. And we have the 7-3 number 3 seed NorCal Conference champions and the ARC Beavers coming to Eagles Stadium to take on the 8-2 number 2 seed Base 6 Conference champion Laney College Eagles. This one is going to be a fun one with honestly teams that look pretty similar, Kyle.
Yeah, no, they're both going to try to have the same philosophy out there. They might have different approaches on how they go about it, but they're both going to run probably about 55, 65 plays throughout the day. They're both going to try to establish the line of scrimmage and, try to bulldog their way into a victory. Yeah, and for Laney, essentially, both teams, their defense is the strength, but for Laney, their defense is very strong in the defensive backfield, whereas ARC, on the other hand, very good in the front seven. Yeah, no, ARC loves to just rush four and let their cornerbacks cover, and they really rely on that front four to try to get a push and pressure the quarterback. Yeah, and they've done so ultra successfully this year. We'll talk about it as we come out on the field for kickoff. So ARC won the toss. They deferred, so Laney will get the ball first. They come out in their ARC comes out white helmets, white jerseys with their white pants with the red and blue trim, and on the other side, Laney coming out silver domes, green jerseys, green pants with the white numerals. So ready to kick things off at Eagles Stadium, kicking left to right. It's going to be Zach Schreiner booting it away to two deep return men for Laney. This one's going to be able to be fielded down at the 7-yard line, running up in between the hash marks. Stutter steps along the 25-yard line, and Devin Franklin comes out to the 25-yard line to get us started in our action. Luke Afato coming up with a tackle on special teams. The starting linebacker that was hurt and then eventually came back these last few games. He's been a big addition to this defense for ARC. And so now it's going to be interesting to see what Laney's able to come out with. DeMontre Thomas got injured in the Week 9 game against Diablo Valley College, and he'll be back tonight for the Eagles. So Trevor Anderson was able to get it done. He got the win against DVC, and they got the win against Chabot instead. But let's see what Thomas in this new offense has in store for them. Tied in off the right side of the line. It's going to be a play-action fake, rolling out to his right, looking down the field. He's going to lob it towards the near sideline, just throws that ball away to get this game started. And that's the big difference between, the last time we saw Thomas against DVC. When he went out of the game, you could really tell that Laney was being very cautious of the plays they call and the type of passes they want to do. They come out of the game right here with a play-action pass. It didn't accumulate to anything right away, but just, that mindset starting off is completely different. And on top of that, when you had Harris running, he's running wild these last few games. 164 yards against DVC, 145 yards against Chabot as another handoff goes to the left-hand side, and he's stuffed in the backfield for a loss of 2 on the play. But yeah, Harris he's been on fire these last couple weeks, and you'll definitely see ARC and, Laney College try to get that running game going early. Yeah, and both teams are going to try to establish the run. They both like to play that slower tempo. Like I said, it's going to look, how they do it is going to look different, but it's the same mindset in trying to, establish those trenches at the beginning. So 3rd and long for the Eagles. They'll come in on the shotgun spread here. 2 receivers out to the far side from the near hash mark, 21-yard line. Chest side snap, handles it well. Time to throw, swing pass. Nope, he doesn't take it. Instead, he's sacked in the backfield. That's Kean Sloan, number 3 in the state in sacks, and he picks up his 12th on the year. And ARC showing it right at the start what that front four can do. They just rushed the 4, dropped everybody else. They don't blitz a whole lot throughout the game, so those front 4, if they're able to get pressure, that's going to be a long day for Laney. Yeah, both the rush men for ARC have over 10 Division I offers. They're great. Yep. So coming out is going to be Jesse Manzo to boot this one away. His heels are right inside of the goal line. Low snap. They're going to whistle this one dead. The return man on the play is Robert Freeman the 4th. False start. Well, that's going to be even more of a precarious situation to be put into. Now you are just about on the edge of your end zone. Now you're deep into the shadow of your own end zone, so not a great way to start for the Eagles.
The ball will be spotted down at the 9-yard line. So Manzo's going to be all the way in the back of the end zone, the G of the Eagles end zone logo, and the return man's going to be at the 50-yard line. Moncayo ready to snap it. It's a low snap, able to be handled well. Rolls out to the right. It's a high end-over-end punt that's fielded inside of the 50-yard line. It's eventually fair caught there. So ARC comes out, and they'll be in far-plus territory to start their first offensive drive. The ball will be marked down at the 46-yard line, and that's where we'll get our first look of Kenneth Leaf.
Yeah, but that was a great job by the Laney punter right there. It was a low snap. He picked it up off the turf on a little short hop, able to get a good boot onto it with the pressure coming. I know it's not the great defensive position that you want to be starting on your own plus side, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
12 personnel for Leith from the far hash mark from the 46-yard line. The motion Barnes over to the right side of the offensive line. Leith out of the shotgun, hands it off up the middle. Spins out of the first one initially, but then he's just moved laterally and then tackled down. That's Kai West on the tackle. Only a rush of one on the play. So, like I was talking about before, it's the strength of both these teams is in their defense. Obviously, Laney, one of the top defenses, they're ranked essentially in the top 5 in most major categories. And then ARC on the other end, not necessarily some of the numbers that you're expecting, but they have those strong pass rushers that leads to their capabilities. So 2 receivers on the near side. It's another stretch out to the left-hand side, trying to work laterally, getting to the far sideline, but he's tackled down inbounds, and that's another carry by Parker, and Parker only able to get about half a yard on the play.
And one thing to really look at early, too, is ARC has actually had 3 weeks off since their last game. So the rust versus rest, conversation is definitely there for them. See how they come out on defense. It seemed to be very helpful. Everybody was helpful flying around the ball. But offensive has timing built into it. How is that going to be with having such a long time off the field?
Yeah, so Siskiyous had to forfeit that last game because they had too many injuries. So ARC got their last victory by forfeit. And now they come out trying to convert a 3rd and long. From the 44, 3-step drop, looks towards the near-hand side, throws it over the top. He tried to get Barthel on the pass, but Lee threw it way too high. The Laney defender on the play, McCoy had his fingertips all over that, or right underneath that ball, rather. But, so, Laney's defense gets it done right off the get-go, and they will force a 3-and-out as well.
Yeah, and ARC actually, that was a blessing in disguise that he was off on that throw, because that was about to be pick 6 for Laney to the house.
Yeah, McCoy's been a ball hawk all year long. 3 interceptions on the year for him. So, Bushervik is going to come out to boot it away. Laney sends pressure. This is a high winding punt, and this one will take a bounce and then take a Laney Eagles bounce into the end zone. So, the Laney Eagles are going to come out to the 20-yard line to start out their next drive.
So that first possession, Laney really had a hard time getting anything going. With ARC and their strength being in that front 4, it's going to be hard running in between the tackles, in between the guards, which Laney really likes to do. It's going to be interesting to see if they get, start doing some stretch runs, try to get to the boundary, quick screen passes, just something to get your dynamic players the ball and get them out into space.
I mean, their front 7 is very good. You have a linebacker with 78 tackles on the year in Tremaine, and then you obviously have the 2 very strong defensive ends. Motion the receiver out into the back. They're going to hand it off left-hand side, diving forward for as much yardage as possible, and that's Jacob Harris coming forward for a gain of just about 6 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 4 from, pardon me, they'll actually give him a little bit more. It's going to be 2nd down and about 3 now. So big pickup on the play.
Yeah, no, great start to a drive. Stay on schedule and get a short 2nd down.
So another heavy tight end set, 2 tight ends off the left side of the offensive line. Out of the pistol set is Thomas once again. Thomas handles the pass. He throws it out far side, and it was batted away on the play. That was the safety, Teague Sloan. So Sloan, the brother of Kean Sloan. So the 2 of them playing college football together over here at ARC.
No, and that was a great play by by the safety right there. It looks like they did bring the pressure off the weak side. It could have been because of the play action, and he thought he was run stopping and ended up being in the right position. But good job getting your hands up.
Yeah, but that's the position to pass out of. Out of the pistol set, it's going to be a handoff off the left-hand side. Bounces out to the outside, trying to go north and south at the end of the play. Unable to get much yardage there. Only picking up half a yard on the play as Harris. So, essentially, you think you can pick up that first down after passing it on third down, or second down rather. And then, unfortunately, that front seven is strong.
Yeah, ARC is showing that, running the football is going to be very difficult tonight. They're big. They're big on every level. The front four and their three linebackers are on the bigger side for JC.
So Manzo getting ready to boot this away. He'll go over to the El Cerrito graduate, Robert Freeman, so almost a homecoming of sorts for him. Manzo rolls out to his right, avoids the pressure, able to get a good one booted away. This one fielded down, and it's fair caught once again inside of the 35-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 34.
So early on in showing that the field possession game is going to be very important tonight. So far, Laney did a good job holding ARC to a quick 3-and-out on their first possession, able to at least get themselves out of the end zone. With the touchback certainly helped, and now they're able to push the ARC Beavers back to the 34.
Now it's going to be a shotgun spread look. It's going to be a pistol trips actually towards the near side of the field. From the 4 hash mark, another handoff. Nope, it's a play action fake thrown, and he was hit down hard as he let that ball go. That was a second away from being a strip sack fumble as the pressure from Laney came through, and that was Isley Cassidy coming in to make the play.
Yeah, and that screenplay developed a little too slow. Especially off the play action. When screenplays develop too slow and the quarterback's got their back turned, it can be very dangerous and painful for the quarterback.
Yeah, unfortunately, playing in many years with you, Cal, we've seen that a few times. The screen's supposed to be a safe play for the quarterback, but when you have to hold it like that, it can be a little rough. Double tight end set in the 12 personnel off the far side of the field. Between the hash marks out of the shotgun is Leith once again. Leith's going to motion his tight end across the formation. He's going to line up back off the right-hand side. Play action fake once again. The ball's batted away for a second consecutive play. The front seven, we were talking about their DBs and their ability to cover and really put pressure, but the front seven is calling up, and they're answering the call as well.
Yeah, and the last 2 plays for ARC, those 3 weeks seemed to be hurting them here at the beginning. The first play was that screen pass coming off the play action. That is a timing play. They were late on it. Quarterback got drilled. They were lucky he was able to get rid of it for a strip sack. The second play, they go on a RPO type play. It was a play action, try to hit the receiver on a little slant route. The Laney defense was able to get their hands up. ARC is just not able to click here at the beginning.
It's that time thing, and it's also, you're splitting time. Like, Leith is the main starter, but you do have another quarterback that plays quite a few snaps in a game, and Carlisle. So ARC just kind of bouncing between that 2-quarterback system. Essentially, it's an 80-20 with Leith and Carlisle, but some of those reps being taken away actually show up early on in this game.
For sure. And when you don't have those games in between weeks to back it up, it gets harder and harder after every week.
Now it's going to be a shotgun look for Leith once again. It's going to be 3rd down and 10 from the 34-yard line. Laney almost jumps offside. A flag does come in. This is a free play. Throws it over the top. It's intercepted at the 50-yard line. He's going to take it down the near sideline. 30-20. One man to beat along the sideline as he's tackled down at the 7-yard line. A big pickup on the play by Charles Albert. But unfortunately, that play was a free play. The quarterback knew it. He just tossed that one up. And, it's going to go the other direction. Nice way to get the blood flowing and pumping there, though.
Yeah, Laney thought they were able to get back out of the neutral zone in time. Ref didn't agree with that, threw the flag. ARC had the free play, tried to hit a little seam route over the middle of the field. It was a little high, which seems to be kind of the theme of the night so far for Leith. But like I said, like you said, ARC able to dodge a bullet here early. They're just going to replay 3rd down.
Yeah, it's a free play. You put it in those positions for a reason.
Absolutely. That's your time to take a shot. You would like to see a little more on, give your wide receiver a chance on them, but again, you get to redo it.
So now it's that 12 personnel look once again. 2 tight ends off the left side of the offensive line. 2 wide receivers split near side. Parker's in the backfield alongside Leith. Leith gets the belt high snap, looking down the middle of the field, throwing the slant. It's caught at the 45, or just about the 45. He continues to spin down, finally brought down at the 38-yard line. A big pickup on the play, and that gas will get a first down for ARC. Brandon Barthel on the reception in the pickup. They're going to hurry up to the line. Leaf getting the snap once again. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, trying to bounce to the outside, spins out of one tackle, and that's Hendricks' first carry of the evening as Teray Hendricks, the sophomore out of Allen, checks into this game. 4-yard pickup on the play.
ARC also showing a little different look after that big chunk play, getting to the line early, snapping it right away. They typically like to play a little slower, so just that little bit of change of pace, trying to get Laney caught up on their heels. Didn't quite work, but getting them in, but staying on schedule. It's going to be about a 2nd and 6.
Yeah, but a nice 22-yard pickup, and he did half the work himself. The slant pass was caught and then continued to spin and fight through.
Yep.
So now they'll get back into their own pace of game. It's going to be a handoff on the right side of the offensive line. Pulling guard and tackle, have some space as he runs into the back of his defender, trying to cut it back upfield on the near hash mark 30, and he's finally brought down at the 28-yard line. That's going to be enough yardage to pick up the first down. Teray Hendrick with the big carry, and that's Jacoby Harris coming up from the safety position to make the tackle once again.
ARC getting back up to the line.
Tempo is the name of the game here. Trips out to the far hand side. Chest high snap once again. Leaf stepping up, looking, has a man down the near sideline, and he lofted it too far over the top. McCoy was the nearest defender in that area, and he was looking to take a head off if he got that ball, so maybe that's a little good that you just throw that ball away.
Yeah, Laney looks like they're starting with their quarters defense here early. They had the cornerback pretty far. Going to be interesting to see. Laney, their base is that 3-4 defense, playing quarters, but they do like to switch up that look a lot. They're not just going to play 1 or 2 different types of defense the whole night. They're going to bring pressure. They're going to play cover 3. They're going to play quarters, and they like to go man with their very athletic cornerbacks, which is the bread and butter of this defense, and let the edge rushers try to get to the quarterback.
Tight bunch off the far side of the line here from the near hash mark, looking for the snap on 2nd down and 10. Leaf gets it, looking, it's a one-man route, throws an interception at the 21-yard line, space along the near side of the field, but instead he cuts it back 35-yard line, and he's brought down inside of the 35-yard line, brought down officially at the 36. Interception by McCoy on the play. That was an early Christmas present here. We're barely past Thanksgiving, and he's already thinking about December.
Absolutely. And again, ARC's offense just looks to be a little bit off. They were able to get a couple chunk plays on that drive, but there was a miscommunication, a misread between the wide receiver and the quarterback. The quarterback looked like he was either going to be running a slant or a hitch. The wide receiver thought he was going to be running a go, and it turned out to be an easy interception for Laney.
And the interception will bring Laney out, trying to use some of that momentum. It's a quick wide receiver screen towards the near side of the field. Able to stay in bounds, doing a jump step at the 39-yard line, getting a few extra yards, and that's a pickup of just about 7 yards on the play. A nice pickup by Regan Wilson out of Beaverton, Oregon.
I know Laney hasn't had the best start in the world on offense yet, but I really like their offensive game plan here. They're not letting ARC, be able to predict what they're doing. First drive, they start with a pass. Next drive, they start with a run. Here they go back to the pass early after the interception, keeping ARC off on their heels.
First completion of the day for Thomas. Another handoff, able to handle it, able to handle the snap well. So the ball was snapped into the left side of his arm. It almost looked like the quarterback, Thomas, was going to keep it himself. At the last second, he handed off to Harris, and the Harris was just smothered. So the positive play will be marked down by -2 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 now. 3rd and 5 from the 42-yard line, working right to left are the Eagles. But let's just call it as it is. This is going to be a defensive game. That was the scouting report going in. It's going to be a battle of field position. It's going to be a battle of who can get some momentum early on and punch a few points, because points may come at a premium tonight. Shotgun spread for Thomas. Thomas is going to hand it off left-hand side. Shimmies through the initial line, able to break free, finding a sliver of space down to the 49-yard line as Thomas picks up 7, and he'll move the chains down to the 49-yard line.
Laney's had the most success so far running between the tackles. They've tried to get to the outside a couple times with this 4-3, try to seal the linebackers in the second level, and it hasn't really worked. They've done the best when they've been able to get back, pin their ears back, and have the offensive line really fire off the line.
Yeah, and you have very strong pass rushers. And how do you stop a pass rusher?
Run
the ball. Sprint out to the right-hand side. Thomas is going to keep his eyes downfield, throws it. It's behind the receiver. You try to find Regan Wilson along the far sideline, but he threw that ball just a little too far behind. An acrobatic attempt, and that's going to be an incompletion, making it 2nd down and 10 from the Laney College 49.
And Laney really showing the respect to this ARC defensive line. On majority of their pass plays so far, they're not just straight dropbacks. They're getting the quarterback to roll out of the pocket, short, easy reads, ball out early, move the pocket, move that target space.
Yeah, I mean, the scouting report on Thomas is basically his athleticism is the key to how well he plays. So when you're able to put him in that bootleg, able to allow him to use athleticism, that's where he succeeds, and that's what they're doing. Tighten off the right side of the offensive line, 2 receiver set. It's going to be a play action fake, rolls out to his right, looking down the middle of the field. He's going to jump step, and he's going to run inside himself. Avoids the first defender, but finally brought down after a scramble for 7 yards. And that's a great hustle on the play by Kanye Smith, the freshman out of Dixon.
And that's something to watch out for as Laney, or as this game continues with ARC and Laney, is on second downs. ARC this year has really had a trouble with quarterback sneaks, quarterback contains, quarterback draws. So it's just watching Laney and seeing if they try to incorporate and try to expose that as the game goes on. That was kind of an RPO type thing where get play action, get them to the outside. If nothing's there, take off and run.
So Laney coming out in a very heavy set here. No receiver set. It's going to be a double tight end set with the fullback off the rear end of the left guard. It's going to be a power run. Bounces it out to the outside on the right-hand side, using his athleticism to get right to the sideline, and another pickup for a first down. Jacob Harris has really found his stride in these last few games, and that is a prime example. Everything was telling him, oh, it's going to be a heavy run inside just to get the yardage, but instead, able to bounce outside, able to use those quick feet, stay in bounds along the sideline, and pick up another first down for Laney College.
And not just the quick strength or quick feet there, it was also the strength. That stiff arm he had about 2 yards into his run really set him free.
And so Laney starting to get some momentum, crawling back their way on offense. The offense definitely looks different under Thomas. Anderson does a good job, and he's done well in stints, but this is Thomas's team for sure. Head high snap, able to handle it, throws it near side. It's a double coverage off the fingertips of Wilson. That must be third or fourth target to Wilson tonight. He's been the only guy that Thomas has been throwing to.
And that's something Laney's going to try to hit multiple times this game. ARC's got smaller cornerbacks, and they like to play with that single high safety look as well. Single high safety is a hard coverage to play if your safety can't fly over the field.
Yeah, I was going to say, you essentially have the whole entire top of the field to cover yourself, so you got to understand where your reads are and where you got to go.
Yep, you have to fly, so if you see ARC in press coverage, look for that go route.
Shotgun look for Thomas as he hands it off left-hand side. Trying to bounce to the outside is Archie Cole, and Archie Cole only able to get a couple on the play. Cole in that game against DVC had some success running in between the hash marks. So the attack for Laney College ended up being Harris on those outside zones and then Cole running inside. So he had 33 rushing yards last week on 10 carries against Chabot. But I think that's what you got to do. You got to go back to the game plan that worked so well the last couple of weeks. Just give Harris the ball on the outside, get him a lead blocker or with a power or rush a zone, and then let Cole do the dirty work inside on those short yardage situations. Defense call coming in as Harris checks back into the game. He's going to stay in pass coverage. It's going to be a ball floated far too over the top. He tried to get the ball over to Devin Franklin, but Devin Franklin was nowhere in the area. He threw a flag route out to the far-hand side. Devin Franklin ran a 15-yard in route, or 15-yard out route, rather.
Yeah, and ARC, a little bit confusion on the Laney offense right there. They like to run that Packer defense when they get into known passing downs, which can be difficult for a quarterback to read because it's really just a bracket coverage, and the safety is just reading what the inside receiver does.
Snap is off. Oh, and that's just a whiff kick by Manzo there. It takes a ARC bounce, and ARC is going to get some pretty fortunate field position there, as that will eventually end up being just about a 6-yard punt on the play. Manzo's a good punter as well, so that's the pressure really just paying dividends. They've been sending it every single time he's punted so far, and he's finally felt it there.
Yeah, and they did get close on that one to coming up with a block.
So ARC is going to get the ball inside of the 30-yard line. They'll mark it down at the 34-yard line of their side of the field. So thankfully for the Laney College Eagles, you were in pretty good field position yourself, so that punt doesn't necessarily hurt you too much.
Yeah, that would have been bad if it was the first punt in their own end zone.
Leaf, stretch over to the right-hand side, works through the first line of defenders and finally brought down along the right side, and that's Joshua Moore for his 41st carry of the year. A pickup of 9 on the play. Alberti on the tackle for the Eagles as well. Oh, so they're actually just going to give him 10 outright. So the ball it'll be moved down to the 43-yard line, and ARC is going to get it from the near hash mark. 2 tight ends set off the left-hand side. That's Barnes and Simpson, the 2 tight ends with offers. They play a lot of the snaps in this game. Leith, handoff, right-hand side, trying to work the outside instead. He bounce cuts, top of the numbers, eventually wrangled down. A group of different defenders comes on top of it, and that's Cassius McGinty coming up for the tackle after a gain of, let's call that one 7 on the play, bringing the ball down to midfield rather. It's basketball season. I'm getting my vocabulary a little mixed up there.
And ARC coming out and methodically running the ball, having a bigger running back in the first 2 plays come in and run it, kind of just down Laney's throat. Now they have a little smaller scat back in the backfield.
So Leith will come out in the pistol look. He'll motion his tight end from the right up back position to the left. 2 receivers out to the far hand side. From midfield, handoff up the middle. Breaks through 1 tackle, bounces out of another one. Top of the numbers 40. Finally brought down, picked up enough yards to get the first down and some. That ball will be dropped down to the 47-yard line.
And American River just running a simple little power run about 3 times in a row, and the running backs have done a good job breaking that first tackle and able to extend the run.
Yeah, when you're scat back 6 foot 200, you don't have to worry about that too much. Tidying up the left-hand side. This will be a false start on ARC likely. Exactly. 5-yard penalty after the first down. And actually, so Hendrick is actually 5'8", 190. So my report's a little wrong over here. Cal pointing that one out.
I was going to say, if that guy's 6'2", then, man, we're playing with some giants out here tonight.
Hendrick, the scat back, and then you have the goal line back and more, as well as Tyreek Parker, the typical starter. So a bunch off the near side of the offensive line. It's going to be a handoff. Fakes the reverse. No, it is a reverse up the middle of the field, and he's tackled after getting a little more than the initial line of scrimmage, able to get 6 on the carry. What a crafty play, though. They handed it off, and they had the motioning receiver get the reverse handoff inside, so it's not those
it was almost
elongated.
like a jet sweep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to say, with the reverse, is typically elongated all the way back. You're about 15 yards down the field and then trying to use your athleticism and get him some space. But instead, it was very similar to that jet sweep, but instead of being on the outside, they attacked the inside with it.
Yep.
Interesting play design, but an effective one as it brings it down to 2nd and 9. Bunch off the far side of the field here. From the near hash mark, 36-yard line. 3-step drop, continues to drop back, and then able to deliver it. Top of the numbers just inside of the 35-yard line. Able to pick up a gain of 3 on the play. Let's try to get a number. I wasn't able to see the receiver there. Kai West was the man on the tackle, but I believe that was Ian Simpson, the one of the 2 powerful tight ends for ARC coming up with that. Simpson, an offer from Southern Utah this year, so power or an FCS offer there, but it's a good one.
Yeah, so far Laney's key to defense has been opportunistic, able to keep ARC in front, make the tackle, and then come up with a big play. Let's see if they go try to get a pick or something. They're playing a little closer coverage here to start. Let's see if they back out or if they stay man, single high safety. Yeah,
pressure man coverage across the board for the Laney College Eagles. Single high safety. Pump fakes, breaks the first tackler. He's going to read it himself, eventually swarm down just about a yard behind the line of scrimmage. Leith had nowhere to go there. The pressure came right up in his face, and the moment he looked up after taking the snap, he had everybody on top of him.
Yeah, great play by Laney right there. I think they brought 1 extra guy, and he was able to get home early. Quarterback did a really good job of evading that tackle, but then the Laney defense had time to swarm and make the sack on 3rd down.
So let's see. ARC does have a great field goal kicker, but will you take a shot from here at this early in the game? The ball's on the 35-yard line right now, so if you do go for an attempt, it'll be a 52-yard attempt. So the long on the year for Schreiner is a 50, but in a game like this where points are a premium, you never really know. They're going to have an opportunity to take the halftime break to think about it, and we'll take that break as well here at Laney College Eagles Stadium. So that's exactly what we called before the halftime break. A 52-yard attempt. This will be the season long for Schreiner. He's going to boot it right to left. Barnes will be the snapper. Gallen, the backup quarterback, will be the holder. Snap is down, kick is up. It's a low kick. Had enough leg, but that one goes wide left. So a good attempt, but unfortunately for ARC, their all NorCal first-team kicker wasn't able to get it done.
Yeah, Laney did a really good job bringing pressure right up the middle before he kicked it. Definitely affected the kick because I was watching him pregame, and he was hitting 54-yarders going that way. The end of the quarter really helped ARC there. You're able to kick with the wind instead of going into the wind. And we all know over here in the East Bay, these nights, especially winter nights, you need all the help you can get kicking the ball and getting that ball airborne because the ball really doesn't like to travel in these conditions.
7 for 10 on the year now after missing that 52-yard attempt. And now the Eagles come out with DeMontre Thomas once again trying to get their offense rolling as it did early on in that section. 1 for 6 on the evening for Thomas. A stretch off the left-hand side, having a lead blocker in front of him. He works to the far sideline, 45-yard line, and he runs into a plethora of people on the sideline. He actually won't get out to the 45-yard line and be brought down inside of that, but a nice pickup on the play, and that should be about a carry of 7. Harris is just ferocious.
Yeah,
he hits the hole hard.
No, really good job on first down, getting ahead of schedule. You're going to have second and short, second and manageables.
And allow you to take a shot.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Laney does because the last time they did this, they threw on second down, then tried to go back to the run on third and only got about a yard. So let's see what they try to do on this time around.
So it'll be 2nd and 2. Thomas out of the shotgun. Head high snap. They're going to toss it, and it goes off the fingertips of Regan Wilson once again. Just about a 6th attempt on the night there.
Let's see what the refs decide to call it. If it was a forward pass or a backwards pass, because if it was a backwards pass, it would be a fumble and they would actually lose yards. Looks like they're ruling it as a forward pass there.
So officially, Regan Wilson's been targeted 7 times this evening out of 8 pass attempts by Thomas. It's fair to say he has a favorite receiver this evening. Pistol look for the Eagles here. They'll line up and hand it off once again. Up the right side of the line, breaking free out to the 50-yard line. He's going to finally be tackled down inside of the 40-yard line, or 45-yard line, rather. And Harris will take the carry down to the 44. Jacob Harris, man.
I'll tell you what, though, Devin Franklin absolutely won his battle on the outside off the line of scrimmage. It's going to be interesting to see if the Laney coaching staff saw that on the sideline and see if they decide to try to exploit that because he won badly off the line and in about 10 yards had about 5 yards of separation.
So after that fresh rush right over there, it's going to be a 1st down and 10 from the 44-yard line of ARC. So positive territory for the Eagles and DeMontre Thomas. Thomas has a slot receiver on the far-hand side. They'll motion him there. It's another handoff. This time goes up the middle, runs right into his pulling guard was the running back. I believe that was Archie Cole in the carry, and Cole's going to be dropped for a loss of 1 on the play. That's another thing. Cole's coming in, and he's seeing exactly what Jacob Harris is able to do. So he's trying to hit that hole hard. But when you're running those counters and you're running those powers, you have to be patient in the backfield and allow your pulling guards to be able to get there.
No, for sure. And I think Laney's trying to set something up there because they faked the jet sweep on that play as well before they gave it to the running back. And I think they went twins on the far side, and I really think they're going to try to exploit Cole Douglas over there on the cornerback position.
So pistol spread. It's going to be a stretch off the right-hand side. Harris checks back into the game, and he dives forward off the right-hand side for only a gain of 3 on the play.
So here we go. You have a long third down. Look for ARC to run that Packer defense. Look to bracket. They'll play man-to-man on the outside and then have the linebacker and the safety play inside-outside bracket coverage. Whoever goes inside, the safety will, or the linebacker will take. Whoever goes outside, the safety's going to take.
12:37 counting down in this scoreless game here. Second quarter action in the 3C2A first round playoffs. It's going to be a third down and long, 3rd and 9 from the 43-yard line. Demontre Thomas out of the shotgun, trips out to the far-hand side, takes a 3-step drop. He heaves it down the middle of the field, one-on-one coverage, and the ball's batted away at the end of the play. Tried to go over to Franklin across the middle of the field, but the safety was over the top, and he swats that one away. I believe that was Cole Douglas on the coverage there.
It was a great play call too. He had him, just underthrew him a little bit, but if he just threw it to the open grass of the field and just let him track it down, even if it wasn't vertical, even if it was horizontal with the numbers, he had a lot of separation to go and get that.
Yeah, after coming off a injury, as Manzo's able to put this one away. Last one was tipped nearly and only able to get about 7 on the play. This one's a longer punt as it's fielded down at the 11-yard line by Freeman. But going back to Thomas real quick, Thomas is coming off that shoulder injury only about 3 weeks ago. It takes a while for those injuries, so arm strength might be a factor.
Yeah, no, it's hard coming off shoulders, and it's hard when you're playing a D-line as good as ARC's. You're going to want to try to get the ball out as quickly as possible, and also maybe not trust being able to step into your throw like you would against another D-line.
So pinned inside of their own 10-yard line now. We'll see what Leith is able to do. It's going to be a stretch out to the far-hand side as it's Carlisle who checks into this game for the first time instead of Leith. So the first play with Carlisle will be a rush off the right-hand side. Only able to go forward for a gain of 2 on the play is Parker.
Short game by the Beavers.
Can you see if that's a 22 or a 28? Is that more in the back foot or is that Parker?
For ARC?
Yeah. And we'll get to it in a second if he makes another play. So 2 receivers out to the near side. It's going to be a handoff off the right-hand side. Nope, it's a quarterback keeper. That is actually Joshua Moore into the game as the running back. They tried to fake the handoff and run it with the Youngstown State bounce back, but unable to get anything going there. Only about half a yard on the play, so it's going to be 3rd down and 7, 3rd down and 8 from the 12-yard line.
Yeah, just throwing a different wrinkle, just trying to get this offensive going, doing anything they can to get a little jump start.
So let's call it 3rd down and 7 because the ball looks like it's actually spotted down at the 13. So it's going to be a shotgun look for Carlisle. 3 receivers out to the near-hand side. Between the hash marks, he'll call for the shotgun spread. Shotgun snap, rather. Snap, play fake, throws the slant across, caught it, and he is paid for it immediately. Grayson Barnes to line him up in that slot despite being a tight end. And right there, he nosedived to the ground immediately after catching the ball. Just good close coverage by Laney, and they'll force another punt.
Yeah, and great job by the linebacker getting over there. It looked like they might have been playing quarters coverage, and on those slant routes, it's the outside linebacker's job to hustle over there and try to get that thing covered. And as soon as he was able to catch it, he laid the wood on him, able to stop him short of the first down.
Basherovic, heels are at the 44-yard line as he's ready to boot this one away. Able to get a high winding punt. This one will be fair caught down at the 41-yard line by Jacoby Harris. And so the sides of the field will flip as Laney College will get their ball on their own 42-yard line.
After the punt, Laney will start the drive on the 42-yard line.
So we had some opportunities, but no team has really even gotten a chance to get in the red zone yet. Just a stout defensive game as we were anticipating.
Yeah, but I don't think either team was really going to mind. Neither team wants to get into a track meet or a high-point game. ARC actually had a negative point differential throughout the season, so when they win tight games. So this is what they're used to. This is the games that they want to try to get into and try to squeak something out at the end.
So Thomas will hand it off on this jet sweep this time around. cuts it back, spins near the original line of scrimmage as Devin Franklin. They try to get their best athlete, their best wide receiver involved in the game, but he's dropped for a loss of 1.
Yeah, that was about the same formation as they went into last time when they faked the jet sweep. This time they do give the jet sweep. ARC did a really good job. The DN did a really good job of setting the edge, and the Laney wide receiver really didn't have anywhere to go.
You think they're setting up kind of a triple option look? Because if you think about it, the triple option, you have the swing and then the dive into the quarterback keeper, and that's essentially what they've been showing. Thomas hands it off on the dive, right-hand side, runs into 2 different defenders, only able to get 2 on the play by Harris. And a tackle on the plate is made by Kean Sloan.
Short run by Harris. 3rd and long for the
Yeah, it's
Eagles.
close to the triple option. I would say it would be more of the triple option if they, snapped it earlier where the motion receiver wasn't able to get the ball right away, because typically the triple option, you fake it to the up back, and then, you either run the option or not.
It's that Coastal Carolina type of triple option where you run
for
it out of
sure.
the spread.
Yep, and they can also make it a triple option, except have a degree with a pass game on top of it as one of your options as well, for sure.
2 receivers stacked out on the near hand side from the near hash mark from the 44. Sets his feet, throws, and unable to thread it to his wide receiver. Tried to target LJ Blackman on the play, but that'll be another 3 and out.
Blackman brings up 4th down for the
Only
Eagles.
were able to get 2 yards on that last drive, so it's been a defensive game top to bottom. We'll get you some of those numbers on defense. Kean Sloan, man, this guy's legit. Came into this game with 69 tackles. He's already got 7 total tackles and 4 solo tackles. As Manzo, angler kick, boots this one. It'll be fair, caught down at the 21-yard line by Freeman once again. So the leading tacklers, it's going to be Kean Sloan with 7. And then it's Kai West, the safety, as well as Cassius McGinty for the Laney College Eagles.
Yeah, if you like defensive football, this is definitely the game for you. About a quarter and a half of the way through, ARC has a total of 81 yards, and Laney has a total of 43 yards. So definitely a defensive first football game. Just try to squeak something out down the stretch in this low-scoring affair.
Yeah, and both punters nearing 100 yards punting on the evening. 3 receivers set on the far-hand side. It's going to be a play-action fake. Throws it, fires, caught right at the sticks, falling down, gets an additional about 4 yards on the play. And Grayson Barnes is going to be your #1 target if you're ARC, and he's showing back-to-back plays for Barnes.
Yeah, Barnes with a fantastic catch right there. Ball was thrown behind him, able to stop his momentum, catch it with just his hands, which seems to be the harder thing to do for a lot of these young wide receivers and tight ends these days. Does a really good job, able to get the drive started off quickly.
Yeah, Alberti was there on the tackle as well. Back off the right-hand side. It's going to be a shotgun look. Another handoff off the left-hand side. Stiff arms one defender, trying to break through to another one. And then he's eventually escorted towards his near sideline, as that was a physical run from Joshua Moore, but unable to get really anything going. Actually loses half a yard on the play.
Yeah, you know your defense is swarming when the running back's able to break 2 or 3 tackles and
still get
gets
tackled for a loss.
and still loses a yard. Absolutely.
2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 from the ARC 35-yard line from the near hash mark. They're working right to left. Barthel points to the lines judge as he gets a set there, and they come out in the shotgun look once again with Carlisle. Back off the right-hand side, Carlisle hands it off, and it's a fumbled mesh point, able to hand it off eventually over to Moore, but Moore continues to fight, and he doesn't do him any good. Finally brought down, and he's taken down at the 27-yard line. That's Kai West once again coming up. With the amount of times we've called Kai West's name tonight, I'm surprised he plays safety, because he's putting up linebacker numbers right now. He's filling that gap, and he's playing hard, physical, run-stopping football.
Yeah, no, when he chooses the gap that he wants to hit, he's hitting it at full speed, and you really don't want to be a ball carrier because he's coming down and laying the lumber. They're not soft tackles either.
Yeah, especially because Kai West is actually playing closer in the box today. They're coming out of the nickel, and they're kind of allowing him to play almost that rover position where he's essentially lining up as a linebacker on the play.
No, he is.
And it's another stretch off the left-hand side, playing it safe as Moore gets another carry, only able to get about 3 yards on the carry, brought down at the 30-yard line, and another punt coming in.
Yeah, they're kind of letting Kai West play that like Isaiah Simmons type role on, you know, the Arizona Cardinals linebacker. They'll set him up in the slot. They'll set him up in the linebacker position, just kind of anywhere that they need him on a certain play. And it's really hard to, you know, scheme against that where you don't know where somebody's going to line up. That's always the hardest to go up against.
I think he's just mad that he was only an honorable mention and not put on the All-Basics team. Basics, one of the strongest divisions in all of junior college football, as the punt is booted away. And that won't be fair, caught inside of the 30-yard line. That'll be marked down at the 28-yard line by Charles Alberti there. And that's a big punt right over there. Flips the sides of the field, and this might be the worst punting field position, or the worst post-punt field position that Laney's had this far. A 43-yard punt on the play by Bershervik. And now Laney College just coming out outside of the 25-yard line. So 5:42 remaining in this game. Laney College trying to put some points on the board. Sprint out to the right-hand side. Flips his hips, throws it. Has a man up there fighting for the ball. Both men came up, and they'll say both men were out of bounds.
ARC was actually the one who was able to come down with the football. Unfortunately for ARC, they did come out of bounds, but great job by the defense. They're really flying on those pass plays, and Laney's having a really hard time creating separation when they roll the quarterback out of the pocket, because the one thing that happens when you do roll the quarterback out right away, it really cuts off half the field, especially if you don't have a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes type arm where you can throw a post on the other side. And ARC is seeing that and really hitting down on it.
It's going to be a quarterback draw this time, up the middle of the field, and runs into just a swarm of different defenders. About 4 different defenders came up on the play, and we'll credit that one to the middle linebacker, Josh Tremaine.
And there's Laney on second down with the quarterback draw, something they might try to utilize more as this game goes on, as ARC really had a hard time this year stopping the quarterbacks on second down.
It's just been a rough situation to be in, though, because of the fact that you had an injured quarterback who came into this game. So Thomas hasn't necessarily looked like himself in these last few snaps.
Yeah, we talk about rest versus rust for ARC, but Thomas is coming off about the same time frame as well as a lot of the ARC team.
Up back off the left-hand side out of the pistol look for Thomas. Thomas hands it off, stretches to the left-hand side, and he's folded down behind the line of scrimmage. Harris just hasn't been able to get much going there. And Harris will be brought down for a tackle for loss. So let's get you an update on some of these stats here. 90 total yards for ARC, 47 total yards for Laney College. Harris doing essentially the lion's share of the carries. 9 carries for 31 yards, and that's good for the evening that we're seeing so far. Manzo, heels are on the 11-yard line. He rolls right, and he boots it away. This one will be fielded once again, and not fair caught this time. Ends up bringing it out from the 33-yard line, able to get an additional 3 yards on the play. And Robert Freeman, the wide receiver out of El Cerrito, changing it up a little bit.
Yeah, and these running backs today on both sides are really rumbling and tumbling over there between the tackles, trying to get every yard they can get.
And this is the type of game where you get into the third, you get into the fourth, and then the defense gets a little tired and you start to break a few passes here and there, so you're paying dividends into the future. So
for sure, it's like a boxing match. Each team is just throwing their jabs, just
getting
keeping
those
their
body
distance,
blows too,
exactly, just feeling each other out, and then in the fourth quarter start trying to hit some haymakers.
Carlisle will check out at quarterback, and Leith will come back into the game. Leith threw 1 interception so far in this game. Rolls out to the right-hand side. He finds his tight end once again, stumbles down at the 40-yard line. He was hit down at the 38 and able to dive forward with the 6'5 frame. The sophomore out of Rockland, and able to make it a second down and about 6. Grayson Barnes. Second down and 6. Shotgun look for Leith once again. Hand up the middle. Stutter steps between the tackles. He's going to break it free. One man a beat. Avoids that defender. Out to the 40. Tackle down top of the numbers 40-yard line. And he springs forward for a gain of 15 plus on the play.
That was a great run right there by ARC. He was like a little jitterbug in the hole. He made about 3 moves in the tackle box, which is hard to do in that small amount of space.
Hurry up to the line. It's another handoff. That jitterbug move you were talking about as he slices back and forth before being upended.
Yeah,
a gain of 4 on the play there by Joshua Moore.
Yeah, the jitterbug got caught on that one. He got picked up, and you just see a body floating on top of the pile.
Pardon me, that's Tariq Parker on the carry, not Moore. Parker's getting the carries this time around. He sprung a gain of 20, and then he got a gain of about 2. Pass toward the near side, has the man streaking down the near sideline, and that is Grayson Barnes going forward for the touchdown. that's a 38-yard reception on the play, and that breaks the goose egg on one side. The Beavers of ARC get the first score of the evening on that play, and that was a beautifully set up drive. You had some success passing to the tight end, you had some success in the running game, and then Grayson Barnes gets the 36-yard reception for the touchdown.
And it had that feeling. If you wanted to score today, it would have to be on a big play. ARC able to get that done first.
Second time we're seeing Schreiner now. Schreiner missed the 52-yard attempt last time out, and this one able to knock it between the hash marks to make it a 7-0 game with 2:47 remaining in the first half of play.
Man, he's got a leg.
He's got a boot.
Yeah, I could watch him kick field goals all day because it's impressive.
It is impressive. I mean, the fact that you have a junior college kick and you send him out to kick a 50-plus yard field goal, that's saying something.
No, there's D1 kickers out there that can't hit a 40-yard field goal. In pregame, he's going 54 and hitting it with ease. When he missed, it wasn't because he didn't have the distance. It was just off left or right. But
it was off left or right, and on top of that, he was being pressured, which forced him to push it as well.
For sure.
So Leaf comes back into the game, and he shows that shows the reason why he is the main quarterback for this team, able to get the jitters out, and then able to get his first passing touchdown of the evening. 4 for 9, 65 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for Leaf. And that will cap off a 4-play, 64-yard drive, only taking a minute and 17 seconds.
But I know Carlisle wasn't able to get any points or anything really started while he was out there, but it allowed Leaf to take a deep breath, look at the game from a different perspective. He comes back in, leads a great drive, makes a great throw down the sideline, and ARC is able to go up 7-0.
Yeah, they steal the momentum away, and like you were talking about with the win, from the 35-yard line on the X over there, the wind blew the ball off the tee. Schreiner ready to boot things away right to left. The 2 return men will be Devin Franklin and Regan Wilson. Jots forward, swings the right leg. This is an end-over-end kick. That'll be fielded short, and it'll be fielded down at the 3-yard line. Take it across the middle of the field, out to the 20, 25-yard line. Cuts it back out to the 30, and he's finally brought down inside of the 40-yard line. They'll say he's marked down at the 37. A nice 35-yard return on the play by Jacob Harris, who was actually out there.
Yeah, Jacob Harris is trying to do everything tonight. Laney understands the momentum's kind of slipping away. They put Jacob Harrison back there to receive the kick. He does a really good job breaking. He almost broke at the distance. He was only about 1 gap away. Laney, though, able to start with great field position over here on about the 37.5-yard line.
And this is why I love playoff football more than anything. The best athletes on the field don't typically play special teams because you can't risk the injury. But when the pedal needs to go down in the metal, you'll put your starting running back to return that kick.
Absolutely.
Thomas hands it off, bounces it back inside after going left initially, and able to only pick up 2 on the play out to the 40-yard line, and I believe that is another Harris carry.
It's that Billy and Joe's versus the X's and O's argument. Sometimes you just need the Billy and the Joe out there to get things done because some guys are different and are able to make plays that just others aren't able to, and Harris definitely has that extra gear and extra ball-carrying vision to see the holes and able to hit the holes at a good clip as well.
So Thomas will face a 2nd down and 8 here from the near hash mark. He'll come up with Harris off his left hip. Another pass. It's going to be a go route towards the near sideline, and that ball was thrown 5 yards in front of his intended receiver. Regan Wilson with his, what I believe is the 8th target this year.
Yeah, Cole Douglas, he's only about 5'8", out there on the side, about 165 pounds, but he's been playing good coverage up to this point on those deep go routes.
And what I really want to see for the Eagles is maybe just get Thomas some traditional pass back sets. If you look at him, he's rolling out every single time, and he's not able to really get his feet set. So that, on top of coming in with a shoulder injury, is going to put you in a pretty interesting situation, a pretty bad situation, to be honest. Thomas is going to face a 3rd down and long. Harris is going to be out the left hip out of the shotgun. Steps forward, throws it short. This one's caught at the 40-yard line. It was caught right at the sticks and then tackled right at the sticks. As that will go for a gain of none as Al-Musa Wair, the sophomore out of San Leandro, gets his 4th catch of the year, but only staying at 45 yards on the season. So, after the successful drive from ARC, Laney College unable to do much there.
Yeah, and those little not slant, but those little
drag routes.
in and drag routes against that Packer coverage are really hard because the linebacker's already playing on the inside. He's already got to step on them. So I don't.
Pressure sent to the line. They're going to go for it all. Manzo able to boot this one away. It's a high winding punt, eventually fielded down at the 30-yard line. Yeah, a lot of pressure there before they came to the ball. It was essentially 10 people were at that at the line of scrimmage trying to rush there.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if ARC got to the punter this game. They like to bring 9 or 10 people and just have their one, return man back, and they're perfectly fine with him just fair catching every time and playing it safe and trying to go get themselves a block and a momentum-changing play.
Last time ARC was on the field was a 4-play, 64-yard touchdown, and now they're going to see if they can use some of that explosiveness from their athletes once again. Play action fake. Throws the bubble screen off the fingertips of the defender, rather, as it was Itu Feneu coming up and making the play. The linebacker wearing 88. You don't see that often. Oh, some interesting fans here at the stadium tonight as we have some live action here. 7-0 with 1:09 remaining in the second quarter. Leith trying to compose the drive to end the half. Handoff, bounces it back inside, finding a sliver of space, fights through one tackle as they try to strip the ball away. Instead, continues to drag a defender down between the hash marks, and it'll be brought down at the 43-yard line. Huge pickup on the play there.
Parker did a great job picking up an extra block from the ref as well.
Yeah, using all the essence for your help there. And Parker off the left side of the line. It looked like he was tackled down short of the line of game, but instead he continued to spin forward, and he's tackled down at about 9 yards after the carry. So a timeout will be called on the field by ARC. That's their first timeout, as both teams still have all their timeouts aside from ARC, the one that they use right over there. So we're going to take a quick break, be back for the last 44 seconds here. So ARC has the ball, 44 seconds left with 2 timeouts in their pocket. It's going to be a 2nd down and short here from the 34-yard line. 12 personnel once again. Leith is going to come out of the shotgun. Eagles look like they want to bring pressure off the edge. They do bring that pressure. Leith able to stand tall and deliver. Nope. He threw it too far behind his intended receiver. He had Grayson Barnes. Barnes was able to find the soft spot on that zone defense, but unfortunately for ARC, Leith unable to hook up with his tight end for the 2nd time.
And Laney dodged a huge bullet on that one because Barnes ran the exact same route as he ran on the touchdown. He was just as open, even if not even more. and Leaf just unable to connect on that one.
Yeah, that's going to be an adjustment that they got to make. You got to have your safety keen to those sidelines. Shotgun, or pistol look rather, left-hand side run, and they just do so to get the first down. So you can either hurry up to the line as the clock stops, or you can take a timeout here. Kai West on the tackle once again for the Laney College Eagles, and a timeout will be called. So I'm always interested to see in those situations what you elect to do. You're right at the line of scrimmage. You can take the timeout and really use that full timeout to your advantage, or you can hurry up to the line and try to get some more plays going. But I guess with 2 timeouts still in your pocket with 34.5 seconds left in the second quarter, you just take it and then try to save the last one in case you have to go for a field goal.
Yeah, and ARC also has the advantage that and luxury that, you know, a lot of JCs and even some D1 programs don't have, in a kicker who's got a lot of distance, exactly, and able to knock them down, where in a game like this where defense is playing the biggest factor and Laney offense really hasn't been able to do anything, every point's going to matter. So if you're able to play it safe, get to a 2-possession game at the start of the second half and keep that momentum on your side, 10-0 is not a bad score if you're ARC.
And then think about it as well. They declined to start the game, so we'll get the ball back on the other side.
Yep.
It's been a game of running backs running it up the middle, and defense really just getting it done. Parker on the evening, 7 rushes for 67 yards. Hendrick has 3 rushes for 24 yards for ARC. And on the other side, Harris has 10 rushes for 34 yards. Leith will come out in the pistol look once again. Leith from the near hash mark. It's another handoff. Nope, it's a play action fake. He rolls out to his right-hand side, looking down the field, and eventually throws it away there. Live to fight another down with 27.5 seconds there, as it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 30-yard line. After that, incomplete pass.
And this is important right here for the Laney defense, this drive and the next one, because there is a potential for Laney's offense to have the ball and then down 7-0, and the next time they touch it, have it be a 17 or 21-point deficit in the blink of an eye. So these next 2 possessions for the Laney defense, because ARC gets the ball at the second half, are critical.
Yeah, so you need to stop here and at a minimum force a field goal attempt. So the ball spot out the 30, so if they don't get any extra yards from here, it will be a 47-yard attempt, so that is within the range of the kicker Schreiner. Bunch formation off the far side of the line from the near hash mark. It's going to be a handoff, and once again they go with that inside jet sweep action. They hand it off to the running back, who hands it off to the wide receiver on the jet sweep, and he'll bring it down near the stick to gain. They'll actually say it was enough for a first down, so out to the 20-yard line as the clock will stop momentarily with 17.1 seconds left. No, it's actually going to be 3rd down and short. Quickly to the line, under center, snaps it, and that's going to be a spike ball. So instead of maybe going for a dive and then using your last timeout, they spike the ball, so it's going to be 4th down and inches, but
it's
a weird position to be in.
Yeah, that's a really interesting play call by the coach and the quarterback right there. You would almost like to see them take the timeout with 12 seconds left, have it be 3rd and 1, and take your shot at the end zone.
Yeah.
And then kick your field goal. Right now it's 4th and 1, and now you run the risk, if you don't get the first down, losing possession and have a turnover on downs for this.
Wait.
For the
no, they moved the chains.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, so that completely changes it up.
Yep.
The sticks on the field showed that it was going to be 4th down after that, but instead, yeah, it will be 2nd down and 10. So a little miscommunication between the staff on the field there. 3-step drop, looking toward the near sideline, has a man running the wheel route out of the end zone, or out of the backfield rather, and Parker tried to take it all the way in for a touchdown. He hurdled the defender but wasn't able to clear him there as he clipped his toe at the very end of the play, and he'll be brought down at the 1-yard line. What an athletic play by Parker there. He got the swing pass, and those swing passes have been working with tight ends early on in the game, so they send it to the running back here, and there will be some deliberation from the staff, but it looks like he will be stopped short at the 1-yard line.
And this is a big decision by ARC right here. 3.4 seconds left. Theoretically, just enough time for one more play.
Yeah, do you go for it, or do you kick a field goal?
Exactly. Do you take the 2-possession game going into half and take your 3 points, or do you really try to make a statement and go up 14?
It's going to be an interesting position to be in, and they'll use their last timeout to think about it. But, yeah, what a big play there, and that is a huge adjustment that they got to make. All the successful passing plays for ARC have been wheel routes out of either the tight end or out of the backfield now.
Yeah, Laney's having a really hard time defending the boundary on those passing plays where the quarterbacks had a lot of time just to sit back there and really, digest what Laney's been throwing at him, because Laney likes to run different types of coverages. So when you're able to sit back there and have a clean pocket and pick apart this defense, it makes life a lot easier.
So it looks like the field goal unit will come out onto the field. They'll elect to take those points.
Yeah, I like the call. I know it's hard. I know the Madden brains out there want to go for it. But in a game like this, when your defense has been playing so well, you get your team that 2-possession game, go up 10-0.
Yeah, and miscommunication in the the units there, as one of the reserve players for ARC has to run in there. That's Michael Sullivan, the sophomore defensive end. So it will be a field goal attempt, an 18-yard field goal from this spot here. And a time will be taken by Laney. At this point, though, would you rather take a delay of game and give yourself a more advantageous angle? Because the ball's spotted at the half-yard line. This is going to be an 18-yard field goal, but from the angle you're kicking at, this might give you a little more difficulty than you would really expect.
I would agree if we had NFL posts. These college posts are just about as wide as the hash marks. Yes, it is easier to go with a little more distance here, but with as big as the field goal posts are and how talented he is and the type of leg he has, he really shouldn't have an issue.
Well, you taught me something as well. I never thought about the size of goalposts. I always assumed it was the same.
Nope, size of goalposts matter. I say that because I used to kick the PATs too.
I do remember that. Shouts out to our good friend Michael Stromberg. So, coming out on the field, and it's actually going to be the quarterback. Leaf is going to come out. He's going to come out in the and another time will be taken. So Leaf came out to take a potential quarterback sneak. And I like the formation that they line up in. They line up in that wishbone formation, so they were going to try to do that, I guess, I don't know if it's right to call it the bush push, but they were going to try to do that position where you put the quarterback in there and then the running back will push the quarterback into the end zone. So Laney.
Yeah, and I thought that was an interesting call by Laney when they decided to call their timeout before the field goal, because the field goals team is out there. I mean, you're not really going to ice the kicker with that type of kick anyway. You call a timeout, you're able to let ARC talk about it. Maybe the quarterback has a discussion with the coach, finally able to convince them, and that was the extra time they needed. And ARC comes out, catches Laney off guard, bringing the offense back in. Now they have to be on their toes and, really pay attention to what personnel is out there, and it looks like it's going to be the offense again. So ARC, the timeout, gives ARC the ability to change their mind and, try to put
exactly what they're going to do. So Leaf will come out. He'll take a snap under center here.
Almost like a victory formation.
So Leaf looks for the ball. He sprints out to his right-hand side. A flag comes in, but he's able to break the goal line. He's in for the touchdown, and let's see what this flag is.
Man, that was the old wishbone formation with just a fullback dive up the middle.
So by the excitement of the coaching staff, Joe, right, it looks like that penalty will be on the Laney Eagles. So instead of going for it to a 10-point game there, instead of going for it and setting up that 10-point game, it will be a 13-0 game pending this PAT. So 2 consecutive scoring plays by ARC, and they will break the scoring drought by 2 scores. So on the other side, they will get the ball back as we await this kick from Schreiner. Schreiner lining up, and this is a much easier kick than the one from the 1-yard line, as he's able to split the uprights and make it a 14-0 game as the visiting ARC Beavers take a 14-point lead against Laney College to go into the halftime break. But like I was talking about, Laney's offense, it's been pretty stale tonight. Unfortunately, you would think that the injection of Thomas back into the game would allow them to get back to running what they wanted to do. And then early in the first quarter, they did see a little bit of that spark out of Thomas. They saw what they were able to do when he was faking the ball, and Harris started to get a little momentum. But since then, the defense has kind of started to struggle for Laney as well, as they weren't able to cover the perimeter. The offense hasn't really been able to find a groove aside from a few carries by Jacob Harris. What do the Eagles have to do?
Yeah, Laney's defense played really well in the first half, but when you're out there as
So
long
much,
as
yeah.
they were, you could really tell at the end of the half they were starting to get tired. I don't know exactly what the time possession was for each side.
I'll give you that number in a second.
Yeah, but ARC, even though both offenses really didn't start off that great, ARC was at least able to put together a first down here, a first down there, at least a little drive to get that defense and keep them well rested, where Laney had a lot of 3 and outs and quick possessions, and that defense unfortunately just broke down at the end and was led up the 7 and then 14 points. And now you're Laney going into halftime down 14 at home. And like we talked about earlier, ARC is going to have the ball back. So they're in that situation where their offense could have been down 7, and then the next time they get the ball down 21, down 17, 3-possession ball game, and, a first half like we saw, unless they're able to really turn it around, a 3-possession ball game is not something that you want to see.
Yeah, so the last 2 drives from American River College, the Beavers were able to get the first score of the game on a 4-play, 64-yard touchdown that took a minute and 17. That one was set up by a 20-yard rush from Tyreek Parker, and then eventually was capped off by that pass over to Barnes, that 4-yard reception for the touchdown. So, wait, pardon me. I think that's a little wrong. I'm trying to get my bearings right with this. Okay, so it was the 20-yard rush, and then it was the 36-yard reception to Barnes. Barnes had 2 catches on that drive. So that set up the first scoring drive of the game for either team, as ARC took the 7-0 lead. Laney got the ball back, and unfortunately 3 and out once again for the Eagles. And then after that, just a great orchestrated drive. You didn't have much time, but you had those timeouts to use. So ARC fought back, 10-play, 1 minute and 13 seconds, driving 70 yards down the field. Had some nice rush plays, and then eventually was capped off by that 1-yard rush to Ian Simpson to get the touchdown.
Yeah, Parker did a really good job there coming on the wheel route, and he's really what allowed ARC to be able to, go for the touchdown there at the end, able to get the ball all the way down to 1, hurdling a defender.
Yeah.
Not easy to do. So, and then it kind of backfires trying to freeze the kicker on a 18-yard field goal. ARC talks it over and says, hey, we're in the playoffs. Our offense hasn't been doing, the most out there up to this point where we have a yard to go. Who wants it more? ARC able to score a touchdown, go into half.
So some stats as well, individual stats. Leith, 5 for 13, 84 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Carlisle in that game, he was 2 for 2 for 20 yards. So Carlisle actually a productive stint there that really opened up the scoring for Leith. Tyreek Parker is the leading rusher in this game, 7 rushes for 67 yards. On the other side, Thomas is 2 for 17 for 7 yards. Jacob Harris is the leading rusher for Laney College. Essentially has been the lion's share of their offense. 10 attempts for 34 yards. This started as a defensive battle, but ARC's offense started to heat up. And then instead of the rust that they've been feeling for the last 3 weeks, maybe some of the game plan and some of those tech plays that you're putting into your system after having all that time to scheme and really just put some stuff together will pay dividend there.
Yeah, and the offense, it's predicated on timing. It's people feeling comfortable, going in the flow, especially the type of runs that they do. The gap type scheme that ARC runs, it's timing predicated. It's letting your linemen be able to get there, set up their blocks, and then hit your outside foot on the ground and hit the hole hard. After 3 weeks off, coming out hot with that type of scheme, you could see that the quarterback, the running backs, the wide receivers, they're all just a little off.
They're fresh.
Now you're seeing the fresh legs from the 3 weeks, and their timing is back. They're hitting on all cylinders. And another thing that we haven't really talked about either is ARC up front, their offensive line, it's a bunch of big boys up there. So when your offense is only, not having a lot of success going 3 and out, and you're letting that defensive line who isn't really rotating a lot have to go up against that big O-line, you could see it starting to pay dividends at the end of the half. They were running between the tackles with ease. The running backs that were getting hit behind the line of scrimmage and, able to get 1 or 2 yards, they're now breaking tackles, able to squirt free. Now those 1 to 2 yard carries are going for 7 to 9. and ARC is able to really get momentum going and get an offensive flow. And then once you start getting that, then the swing routes get easier, the wheel routes get easier, your whole playbook opens up, and Laney just ends up playing on their heels.
Halftime adjustments are going to be the name of this one going into the halftime break. A huge deficit for the home team, the number 2 seed Laney College Eagles, as the Beavers have come in the last 2 plays, driven down the necks of the Eagles and scored 14 consecutive points. So we'll be back on the other side of the break. About 15 minutes left in this halftime break. We'll be back with more 3C2A playoff action at Eagles Stadium. Back here at Eagles Stadium, as we'll give you a recap of some of the action that's been going on in this first half of play. So it was a back and forth affair, and then Laney was able to get an interception that set them up in a pretty good position around the 40-yard line, but they weren't able to do much with that. And then since then, it's been a back and forth affair once again until ARC started getting the scoring going at the at just about, here, let me get you the number. Let's see if I have that. At about the 3-minute mark of the second half of play, ARC was able to put together a 64-yard drive in 1 minute and 17 seconds and then get that touchdown. And then right before the halftime break, they were able to cap off a 10-play, 70-yard drive. That was a 1-yard rushing touchdown from Ian Simpson out of the wishbone on the goal line with essentially no time left on the clock. And that set up our score, 14-0 here. So the Eagles need to make quite a bit of adjustments here in the second half as they were starting to get burnt along those perimeters and then giving up some of the runs on the inside. So the Eagles are going to have to boot it away for to start the second half. So this won't be fieldable. It's caught at the 7-yard line, taken up between the hash marks, 15-yard line, out to the 25-yard line. He's going to take it out to the 40. One man to beat out to the 44-yard line, and he's going to take it down to the 30, the 20, the 10-5. Touchdown, Beavers. Robert Freeman took it 97 yards, slashing across the middle of the field, and he gets into the end zone for the opening kickoff of the second half. 20-0 is the score with 14:46 remaining and that third quarter of play.
And that was a great start by ARC. That was the worst case scenario for the Laney Eagles. They didn't want to go down 21, at least 20, 21, nothing to start the third quarter. This was the worst case scenario that we were talking about at the end of the first half. It started. The best thing we can say is Laney will, since they let up the kickoff return for a touchdown, will have the most time to be able to get back into the game since they scored so quickly.
Let's see what Thomas is able to do on the other side.
Oh,
as they're going to go for two. It's this read option or the sprint option off the left-hand side. And instead of going up 21-0, it's going to be a 22-0 lead for the number 3 seed visiting ARC Beavers. Sprinting out to the left-hand side, and the third-string quarterback, Connor McGrath, will get 2 points to his name.
Yeah, that was just a fake field goal, and he caught it and just took off running. It was an option, but he didn't need it. Laney was completely taken off guard. The whole outside of the field was wide open. He could have walked into the end zone.
Insult to injury for the Eagles, but strutting down the field, making things happen early on for ARC. 3 drives, 3 scores, and a 2-point conversion to put the cherry on top.
Yeah, ARC's so excited they don't even have a kickoff return or kickoff team even close to being ready to go on the field.
Let's see, sometimes we have situations like this, you don't send enough men out on the field, but for my counting right here, they do have 11. So they'll be kicking it right to left, coming out in their white jerseys, white pants, white helmets with the blue numerals in the red and blue trims. And on the other side for the Laney Eagles, it's the silver domes with the green jerseys, green pants with the white trim and the white numerals. So booting away right to left will be Schreiner once again, and he'll be kicking it from the 35-yard line. The deep men for the Laney Eagles will be Devin Franklin and Jacob Harris once again. Harris had a good return, bringing it all the way out to just about the 35 or the 40-yard line last time. Let's see if he's able to answer the call right here. Boots it away. This won't be fielded, and it's fielded by Harris at the 5-yard line. He's going to run top of the hash marks, 25-yard line. He's going to bounce it to one defender, eventually shifting and breaking multiple defenders before being taken down at the 31-yard line. A good return of about 25 yards from Harris on the play, and he'll stay in the play running back after that.
Laney here needs to take a deep breath, understand they're down 21-0. Can't do anything about it now. Still have a lot of time left to go in this game, though. That's the nice thing about college football. Clock's going to stop after first downs. Game can extend longer than your typical NFL game, so there's more than enough time to score 21 points and a half. You just have to have a better offensive production than you did the first.
So the drive will start, and it's going to be a handoff over to Harris over the left-hand side, and Harris runs into a plethora of defenders, and that looks like Kean Sloan once again coming up for the tackle. He's got to have at least 10 tackles. Let's pull up the numbers and see, and Sloan will put up his 9th tackle of the evening. tackle for loss of 1 yard on the play. So Laney College trying to answer the call with Thomas in as quarterback once again. Thomas is going to come out with a two-back pistol look here. From the near hash mark, sprints out to the right-hand side. Eyes down the field, pressure starts to come, throws it away with the left hand. And pardon me, that's actually not Harris in the backfield. That is the Wildcat quarterback, Amante Scott. So Scott is listed as a defensive back, but he's come into these situations to run the set for the Eagles.
Yeah, Laney wanted to. It took them until the second half to bring this package out, but they wanted to try to get Scott out into the boundary, either have him do a wildcat or even like a stretch type play. Try to let his dynamic speed make a difference against this D line, since this D line's done a really good job stopping the run between, the tackles. They tried to get him to the outside, ran a pass play, just didn't work out.
Shotgun snap, belt high snap goes to Thomas. Thomas steps in the pocket after he's being pressured. He's eventually swarmed down and brought down to the backfield by Kai Whalen.
Yeah, and Kai got off the ball so quick right there and beat the offensive tackle with one little swim move, and it was easy pickings from there.
6'6", 230 out of Jesuit, 5th sack of the year. And there's a reason why essentially all the Power 5 schools are all over this guy. 17 years old at 6'6", has those capabilities. If there's one thing you can't teach, it's size. He's got it, he's got the skills, and he's going to go to a big-time D1 next year. Low snap handled well. Manzo's able to boot this one away. Had pressure in his face, but he's able to get a good punt away. And this one will be fielded down at the 38-yard line by Robert Freeman. So Freeman kicks he takes the kickoff for a touchdown, and now he gets a fair catch, brings it down to the 37-yard line, and we'll see what ARC has in store on offense now. ARC trying to take all the flight underneath all the air underneath the wings of the Eagles here. They've been flying high going into this game, but the 3 weeks off has showed to pay dividends as some techie plays have really gotten them going. Sprinting out to the right-hand side, throws the ball. It's caught right at the original sticks. Veers in the side at the 50-yard line. Continues to stay on his feet, switches the hands. He's going to go out to the 40-yard line, the 30. He's going to find the near sideline, 20. Cut it back inside, 10, 5. Touchdown, Beavers. Ian Simpson. He said, hey, Barnes got the last touchdown. I need one myself. So Ian Simpson decides to go 61 yards across the middle of the field, and the Eagles are stunned.
Man, Ian Simpson was on the middle of the field, the outside of the field, one hash mark, the other hash mark. He broke about 5 tackles on the way to get his touchdown. Ran through people, broke arm tackles, stiffed arm people. That was a well-deserved touchdown, and ARC goes up 4 scores, and let's see if they actually kick it this time.
Yeah, I don't expect them to not. Oh, and they go with the swinging gate now. As one of the offensive linemen in the swinging gate flopping down on the floor as a flag comes in.
We have a hinge that's broken.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, maybe one of his knee braces pop loose.
Oh, no.
And it will be an offsides on the defense, so... okay, they're going to decline it there. That's a little interesting, actually. You go in the swinging gate formation, and you decline it when you do get the offsides that you want. But instead, maybe we'll actually see the kick this time. Getting a little tricky here. Maybe you don't want to pull too many bags out of your or tricks out of your hat. And they will do so.
Back to it.
So they come out in the swinging gate formation.
Reminiscence of the Indianapolis Colts with Pat McAfee.
Oh, my goodness. One of the worst plays in history.
They think about it.
Okay, so extra defender is going to be off the right-hand side as they shift back inside to a typical field goal, PAT position there. And after all the window dressing, we'll have a score of 29-0 as ARC has taken complete control of this game. And Ian Simpson was the last one to get it to go. Officially a 62-yard pass and a touchdown. And I wanted to highlight this during the play, but I didn't get a chance. You know what I like the most about that play? When he was crossing across the middle of the field, broke that one tackle, and he said, hey, I'm going to be driving along the near sideline here. Let me put the ball on my left-hand side.
Ball control, and that's what and at the end of the day, that's what was able to get him the stiff arm at the end and make that last tackle. Is if he keeps it on the other side, he's not able to do that. So switching the ball, having it on the correct side, not necessarily the right side, but the correct side, really
set him up for success.
It shows why that's taught. You're able to free up that inside hand and use it for stiff arms and jukes and anything that you need it to be.
And it shows why he's a D1 tight end.
Yes, no, he was moving differently out there for being so big. That looked smooth. He was running through everybody. Really nice run.
Yeah, talking to John Osterhout before the game, he was just talking about how grateful he is to have 2 Division I tight ends in his program. And then the fact that they can stay in that 12 personnel and then go so many multiple looks. You're sending your tight end into the backfield as a fullback. You're putting them in the slot. It's just those mismatches are so hard to fight. The Eagles did well to fight it in the first half, but unfortunately, the Cards have come crumbling down. Kicking it right to left is Schreiner. Schreiner will boot this one away, and this won't be fieldable once again. Fielded down at the 5-yard line. Harris from the near hash mark. Jump cuts out to the 20-yard line. He's eventually brought down at the 24-yard line.
Yeah,
19-yard return on the play.
Having going back to ARC and the 2 tight ends, it makes an OC's life so easy because you're able to just keep the same personnel in. There's no tipping your hand of what you might do because when your tight ends are able to act as linemen and help in the run or set them out wide or being a 2 tight end, like a traditional 2 tight end set, you're able to have the same personnel out there where you're not going to key anything to the defense and they're seeing things last second as they line up in the formation that you call instead of going off personnel sets. Makes life easy.
Thomas will come out on the pistol look, trying to get anything going here. Dire need for a score in this position, and they'll start it off with another handoff. Harris almost hit in the backfield, but instead continues to fight forward before he's eventually brought down. A bunch of different defenders there, but Luke Levengood, the freshman out of Vacaville, came there with the assisted tackle. A gain of 7, or no, they're actually going to put him all the way down. It's going to be a rush of 8 on the play that marks him down to the 32-yard line as Donovan Laban as well as Luke Levengood came in for the tackle. So that's a good way to start, but you have a big hill in front of you. Continue to keep churning here. Thomas is going to come out. 2 tight ends set off the left side of the offensive line. Thomas out of the shotgun look once again. Stretch off to the left-hand side. Nope, it's a play-action fake. Throws it out into the flat. It's caught at the 35-yard line. Working his way down to the 45, and eventually is hit out of bounds, but that was a harder hit taken by the defender than the receiver on the play, and that was the fullback, Dylan Ochoa. And that is Naruka who made the tackle on the play as well. Ochoa, man, he's listed as a fullback, but they use him as a receiver more than anything. Ochoa, 5'11", 195 out of Castro Valley. He had quite a few big plays against Diablo Valley College last time these teams were playing on the field. Harris trying to find some space along the right side of the line, unable to get much, but falls forward for a gain of 2 on the play, and Dom Spence was there.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see when Laney decides to start bumping up the tempo. Right now you're at a 4-possession ball game, need a 2-point conversion on top of that. They're still taking their time, getting set. It's not a true huddle. It's a little bit of a hybrid huddle, but looking back at the sideline, they're not sending 2 play calls in at a time. So going to be interesting to see if Laney doesn't score, even if they do score, when they decide to start going up-tempo.
1 receiver on each side, and it's going to be another handoff. This one goes off to Cole as Cole works the middle of the field, continues to move this scrum here as the forward momentum will eventually be brought down inside of the 50-yard line. They'll mark him down at the, let's call it the 47-yard line of ARC. Archie Cole, like in the scouting report I was talking about before, right between the tackles.
No, this whole ARC line, too, on the defensive side is doing a great job. So every yard earned by these Laney running backs, they're well-deserved. They're running hard because they're not getting huge holes to run through. They're getting some holes, but they're not glaring holes. These are hard-fought yards.
So coming on to face a 3rd and manageable, it's going to be a 3rd and 3 from the 47-yard line. Another handoff follows his right tackle and able to spring free out to the 40-yard line. And a pickup of 7 or 8 on the play from Harris as Jacob Harris continues to be the workhorse for this team. 14th rush on the evening, and that should get him to about the 50-yard mark.
And this is what Laney needs to continue to do. Get good chunk yards on first down. Get yourself set up for second and manageable, where you can either run or pass. Keep the defense honest, and they really need to start moving the ball consistently.
And in the situation that you're in, you need to do with some hustle as well. Knee-high snap, able to handle it, throws it far sideline. It's a one-on-one route, comes back for the ball, but it's off the fingertips. Devin Franklin running the sideline route there, but unable to make the high acrobatic grab on the play. And that actually, and that's Inoruka on the coverage. I don't believe that is actually Devin Franklin on the attempt, though. Let's see if we can get a number. I believe that was Fuller, actually, number 13. No, that's number 6, so that is Regan Wilson. Wilson's been targeted with the lion's share of the passes. Demontre Thomas, 3 for 14 for 21 yards, and he's going to need something here. Stretch off the left-hand side, cuts it back between the tackles, and he's eventually brought down by the linebacker, Laban. He's been a first-team all-conference player over the NorCal Conference for the last 2 years, and that's one of the reasons why 63 tackles coming into this game. And Laban has been putting his stamp on the game as well, filling those gaps, and he comes up with his 5th tackle of the evening.
Interesting, too, by ARC. The whole first half, they had Cole Douglas out there on the near side playing cornerback. Now they have Jaden Alexander playing corner, so they had a little bit of a cornerback switch up. Don't know exactly why they would do it, but different looks for Laney to try to figure out in the second half.
Trips out to the near-hand side, 3rd and long, fires far sideline, and that's caught at the 35-yard line and brought down there. So it's going to be 3rd down and just about 5 after the completed pass over to Fuller. Fuller had 1 catch for 45 yards last week. But now this is an interesting position to be in. You're at the 35-yard line. Your kicker doesn't necessarily have to lay, but down 29-0, you might have to go for it. And as the personnel stays on the field, that might be exactly what happens.
Yeah, you're not going to come back kicking field goals in this game. You need points, and you need big points. You need 7 points this possession and the next possession.
And the next one and the next one and the next one.
But at least to get yourself in a position of feeling, okay, this lead isn't insurmountable. We're able to still mount a comeback and not get too outside of what our offense is wanting to do.
And what might be one of the most important plays of the evening for the Eagles. They'll end up taking a timeout before calling that play. So quick timeout on the field, and we'll take it as well here at Eagle Stadium. Back on the other side of the break, the timeout was taken on the field to decide what to do on 4th down, so the play call is in. It's going to be 4th down and 5 from the 34-yard line. Demontre Thomas continues to come out with the keys to the car for this Laney College offense, coming back after being injured the last couple weeks. Thomas, 3-step drop, pressure comes his way, he throws. It's a quick pass across the middle of the field, brought in at the 20.
That was a great catch by the receiver.
Yeah, Al-Musa Wair on the reception there.
Yeah, Thomas also a great throw. It looked like a deep dig, too. Those aren't the easiest throws to make, and Thomas did a really good job stepping up in the pocket, throwing it with authority, and Laney gets a crucial 1st down to keep the game going.
And the biggest thing I noticed from that play is the footwork of Thomas. Thomas wasn't rolling out. He was able to take a traditional drop back, set his feet, and then deliver that ball. Snap is off, handoff, left-hand side, bounces it back inside before he's eventually wrangled down on the play. Donovan Laban coming up from his linebacker position to make a tackle once again, and a tackle for no gain by Harris, or a carry for no gain rather by Harris.
And Laban did a really good job shooting the gap right there. He came in like a missile, able to make first contact behind the line of scrimmage and hold him for nothing.
Nothing indeed. So we got some spam in the chat here. I'm running I'm running the stream and doing the play-by-play here, so able to get that out. So it'll be a shotgun snap, thrown. It's another dig route and just making it third and manageable. You get about 5 yards on the play. It's a nice little pickup there, and you just need some momentum going your way. The clock is ticking down, so you got to start to hurry it up, but third down and 10 is a lot more difficult than third down and 5, so I like the decision there.
Yeah, and Laney also understands they're in 4-down territory at this point,
Yeah.
so you don't necessarily need the first down here. You just need to get a positive play, get something into either fourth and short or first down here, but you do have fourth down to still play with.
So on third down and just about 6, it's going to be a quick pass. Oh, and it's a drop ball. Tried to deliver it out to his far side receiver, and that was Harris on the play that time. But Harris unable to bring that one in, and it's going to be fourth down and 6 after the play.
Yeah, and Laney understood that they would have fourth down to play with, went with the screen pass, just try to make this fourth down shorter than, fourth and 6. Unfortunately, incomplete pass, they stay at fourth and long, and these are the distances that are hard to get, especially when you have two DNs as good as ARC has. These tackles are going to need to come up big for the second time this drive.
Shotgun spread from between the hash marks. And a timeout will be taken by ARC on the play.
Interesting that ARC took a timeout too, because they were actually blitzing, something they don't do often, but they did not want the Laney quarterback Thomas to be able to sit back in the pocket like he did last time, take his time, let the routes develop. ARC was trying to push the little clock in his head up, make it move a little faster, see if they can force a mistake by Laney instead of trying to do everything on the back end.
Yeah, so with that timeout, we'll take a quick timeout to drink some water, and a reminder to stay hydrated as well for all you out there. Hydration is the key. So another timeout here on Eagle Stadium, and we'll be back in just a couple seconds. So Laney on fourth down and long, fourth down and 6 from the 16-yard line. They need a score here as the Beavers have scored the last 4 consecutive plays. Thomas has had the most success he's had all game on this drive, and he's looking to continue that here. Shotgun spread. It's going to be a quarterback draw up the middle of the field, and he scurries in, takes a huge hit. He's blown up on the play, but he's in for a touchdown. 16-yard rushing attempt on the quarterback dive, or on the quarterback draw, rather, as Dramonte Thomas was just annihilated at the end of the play. Coming off a shoulder injury, that's the last thing you want to see.
And he's still down on the field.
So, positive notes. Laney ends up breaking the goose egg, going up 6-29. Negative notes. The moment that Thomas starts to really get comfortable and starts to find some success in this game, he's injured.
Yeah, and that was a gutsy move by Laney, running a quarterback draw on 4th and 6. It worked out, but like you said, maybe it worked out a little too well, where Thomas was trying to get the touchdown, get to the goal line because it's big points for Laney. The safety was doing everything he could to keep him out, and it was two guys going full speed with a huge collision. It looks like Thomas took the bigger brunt of the hit.
Yeah. Teague Sloan came up and just laid the lumber. Oh, so good to see Harris be able to get up.
Absolutely. Harris was on the far side of the A, and that hit took place in between the hash marks. That's how hard that hit came in.
Flew about 4 yards at the end of the play. But fortunately for the Laney Eagles, they're able to get their first score of the game. So 29 unanswered for ARC, and now the Eagles are able to get on the board. Jesse Manzo ready to boot it away. 23 for 23 on extra points this year. Holder is Monte Scott as well, the Wildcat quarterback. Hold is down, kick is up, able to split the uprights. And the Eagles they're alive here, 29-7. They're down 22, and it sounds a little strange. It's because after the opening kickoff for a touchdown, ARC ended up going for that 2-point conversion because you can. And so now some life for Laney, but it unfortunately comes at the health of their quarterback. We'll see what Jamontre Thomas is able to do on the other side, but if they don't, if they're unable to bring him back just that closely, Trevor Anderson, he's been a reliable player. Last year in the Golden State Bowl, he was the MVP as well. So, in these big moments, he's able to step up and make some plays. And as well as Amonte Scott, he's able to play some great Wildcat for you. So let's cap off that last play. Demontre Scott able to cap off a 16-yard rushing touchdown. That was a 13-play, 76-yard drive that took off 6 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock. So essentially, ARC was able to get that kickoff return and then get another quick play for 19 seconds. And then after that, that whole entire quarter belongs to Laney.
Yeah, but that's what Laney needed. They just needed to get something on the scoreboard. Now they get to rely on their defense, which is, the anchor of this team.
And you need a turnover. I would expect to see very hyperactive, very active hands, sending some pressures and
you're going to see a lot of blitzes in the A gap here because I'm sure ARC is going to try to reestablish the run here, but get some time off the clock.
And Gramajo's able to boot it away. This one will go out of bounds, and that's the last thing you need. That ball is going to be spotted down at the 35-yard line on the other side. It was interesting to see. You see Gramajo kick it off sometimes, but Manzo's been handling the duties so far this evening. So the first time we see Gramajo, it's unfortunately going to be an out-of-bounds kick for the Eagles. So between the hash marks, ARC is going to come out, and they've been red hot on offense. Leith, 6 for 14, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that 1 interception that came very early in the game. He's looked pretty comfortable in the pocket since then.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's settled down because at the beginning he was missing a lot of his throws high. Got fortunate on a pick 6 that Laney had a false start on or offsides on, but he's really settled down since.
So Leith will come out of the pistol look. 2 receivers split on the left side of the offensive line. And another handoff goes to the right-hand side as the ball's brought down at the 39-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play on the carry from Parker.
Yeah, and you see what Laney did right away to start this drive. Double A
gap blitz, yeah.
Yep. They want to start the run. They want to try to get ARC to go 3 and out. That's really what Laney's defense is going to strive to do the rest of the game, being down 3 possessions at this point.
22-point deficit as they're down 29-7. ARC showing to be ready to answer any call tonight. Barthel's going to motion. He's going to be the lone receiver on the near side of the field. It's going to be a stretch over to the left-hand side. Tries to cut it back. Initially bounces right into a Laney defender before he's taken down after a gain of 4 on the play. That was Parker on the carry once again.
And ARC, they're going to have the shot. Laney's only playing with a single high safety. And with these tight ends that ARC has, I wouldn't be shocked if you see a play action here on 1st or 2nd down here coming up and just do a crossing route or a deep crossing route for ARC.
Bunch formation towards the near side of the field. Out of the shotgun, trying to get the Laney Eagles to jump off sides is Leith. 5:06 counting out, and the play clock hasn't been working, so we don't know how much time is left there, but the officials are counting for it there. Another pistol look for Leith now. Leith, hands off, left-hand side, cuts it between the hash marks, and one defender free from breaking it loose, tackled down at the 49-yard line by Kai West once again. Unable to break it free, but that does break it to another set of downs. So it's going to be 1st down and 10 from the 49-yard line of ARC.
And that's the one risk you have when you bring double A gap pressure is if you are going to bring the blitz up the middle with both your linebackers, you have to make sure that you're gap sound throughout the whole line, or else if you do get past that initial wave, it's a lot of running room.
Parker and Leith in the backfield. 3-step drop, looking down the middle of the field. He's going to fire towards the far sideline. Caught and brought down immediately. Crosses midfield as Kai West makes the tackle on Ian Simpson. Simpson, the last time he caught the ball, he went 63 yards for the touchdown. And this time around, he gets the catch and he goes forward for a gain of 5 on the play.
And Kai West can be on any team I coach, because that guy, he's just flying around the field. It doesn't matter if it's a run, if it's a pass. He's going up into the box now, but dude has been everywhere over the field today.
Back on the right-hand side of the pistol for Leith. Leith will line up. Parker is dotting the I on that pistol there. Snap is off. Handoff on the right-hand side. Avoids 2 defenders before he shimmies his way forward. Gets the first down out to the 40-yard line. And now an extra offensive lineman's going to come into the game as well for ARC. So let's see what they elect to do now. They bring in Anthony Verba.
And ARC is feeling it right now. You can just tell by the way the O-line's moving. Their tight ends are shaking their heads. They know that they're asserting their will on this Laney defensive line right now, who has hands on their hips, huffing and puffing, because it's a big O-line to take on snap after snap, and especially when they're just running downhill on you.
Bunch formation off the left side of the offensive line. It's another pistol look and another handoff up the right side of the offensive line, trying to show some patience with his hand on the back hip of his offensive lineman as he springs forward. He got initially to the line to gain there, and that was just some very patient running by Parker. Parker, man, he just essentially used him as a force field trying to have the offensive lineman lead the charge. And that's exactly what happened as he got forward for a gain of 9.5 on the play. I'm surprised they didn't give him the first down.
And ARC is doing a really good job keeping their backs fresh. Each back has had their chance to show what they can do, and all of them have done a really good job being able to pick up yards and good chunk of yards. And when your whole stable of backs are able to do that, rotating them and keeping them fresh is a lot easier to do.
Yeah, and Moore's in the game now. Moore out of the shotgun with Leaf. They're going to motion the tight end from the right side to the left side. Fakes the handoff, pump fakes, throws it, and it's the wheel route once again. This time it's covered, though, as they tried to run that wheel from the slot position and tried to thread the needle over to Barthel, but good coverage on the play by Jacoby Harris, the defensive back out of Hayward. Be third down in just about half a yard, so in second down and half a yard, that's the time to take a shot. They did exactly that, and now I expect more running by the way of Joshua Moore or Tyreek Parker. Or Tariq Parker.
Oh, it looks like they're going back to that victory wishbone type formation.
Exactly, wishbone formation. 2 fullbacks off the left hip under center. It's going to be a fullback dive off the right-hand side. And we were talking about, and that is Casey Riley coming in for the carry that time. But we were talking about the Eagles actually running that that pseudo triple option, but now we're actually seeing the traditional triple option look from ARC. That's not something I had in our bingo card.
No, but when your running back's about 240 and you only have about a yard to gain and your offensive line has been doing a great job getting a great push up front, give it to the big boy and let your O-line get you your yards.
25th carry, 5'10", 230 out of Orville. First down and 10 now from the 28-yard line, driving down the field. Sprinting out to the left, it's going to be a stretch hand play. He breaks it out to the sideline, out to the 25-20 before being decimated along the near sideline. A huge hit came on the play by Logan Ketchum, and he really caught him on that one. But fortunately for ARC, a big pickup on the play, so it's going to be another first down. And I think you'd rather be in ARC's position any time of the week. You'd rather have the 10-yard carry.
Yeah, and Robert Freeman, he's electric when he has the ball in his hands. He's the one who got the kickoff return for a touchdown. There he's able to get to the boundary, make people miss. When this guy has the ball, things happen.
Tighten off the left-hand side. Another pistol look. It's a handoff over to Freeman. Freeman trying to bounce it outside. Instead, he stutter steps inside, and he cuts it back up, diving forward. He avoided 4 different defenders at the initial point where he might have been tackled, and he's brought down after a gain of 9, and that looks like Laney is starting to unwind just a little bit as 2 flags came in at the end of the play, and by the body language of both teams, those will likely be unsportsmanlike penalties on Laney College.
Yeah, Robert Freeman, who just went to high school right down the road, probably about 15, 20 minutes away. Coming
Yeah,
back
over in El
home and
Cerrito.
coming back home and having a great game. And shout out to the Gauchos for winning last night too and going
to state.
NCS State. Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be happy about that one. Yeah, but Freeman's had 9 rushes on the year, so when you put him in the backfield, he's truly their scat back, 5'8", 160. What is the old Debo syndrome? They put him in at wide back.
Yeah. An OW is what we call him, offensive weapon. Just get that guy the ball and let him do his work.
So, coming into the backfield will be Joshua Moore now, the 6'2", 205 running back out of Del Oro. And it's going to be first down after the penalty. 38 seconds remaining, counting down here. First down and goal from the 4-yard line. Another pistol look. It's going to be another carry. Try to work the left side of the line once again, but a couple different Laney defenders come up for the tackle. As Moore is slow to get up, he's able to be picked up by one of his offensive linemen. But it's going to be second down and goal from just about the 3.5-yard line.
Yeah, and ARC is just going to let the clock wind down here and go see what they can do to start the fourth quarter.
The clock is your friend in this position. They're doing exactly that. The execution from ARC has been there all night long. So with that, we'll take a quick break before coming back into the fourth quarter play. A big deficit in front of the Eagles on their home field. The number 2 seed on the verge of falling out of the first round of these 3C2A playoffs. So we'll be back on the other side from Eagles Stadium.
Will have the ball.
15 minutes remaining in this game, and it's a 22-point deficit for the Laney College Eagles here on their home field. ARC trying to extend that lead even further here as they have a second down and goal from the 5-yard line after the last rush from Joshua Moore was actually a tackle for loss on the play. Rolls out to his right-hand side, looking, throws it, and that's caught once again by Simpson. And was Simpson able to extend it? Yes, he was! Leith rolled out to his right, found his tight end, and the tight end did everything else to get inside. A 5-yard pitch and catch, and a beautiful athletic attempt by Ian Simpson to put ARC up 29-7. Leith with his 3rd touchdown pass of the evening.
Yeah, and Simpson for being that big, he's so quick and able just to put his foot in the ground and cut and get upfield, dive in for the touchdown. These tight ends for ARC have really been a problem all day.
Absolutely. So, unsportsmanlike conduct will be called on ARC after the play.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think Simpson got a little dinged up on his celebration, too. He's out there limping around. Hopefully he's okay because he's been athletic and been big part of their offense today.
So I think
After the penalty, the touchdown will stand.
let's listen to what the PA announcer has to say real quick. So, hey, this is interesting. I don't know if you can actually enforce that
On the
unsportsmanlike on the kickoff in junior college. So let's see what they elect to do here. Snap is off, hold is down, kick is up, and able to cross the T on the PA team, making it a 35-7. Or is it 35? Is that right?
Should be 36.
Yeah, 36-7. They did go for 2. So we'll see. I've seen some interesting situations in 3C2A official calling this year. So you should be able to enforce that unsportsmanlike on the ensuing kickoff, but I we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, I have a hard time imagining that if they weren't able to, that they wouldn't move them back.
Yeah, okay, so they will enforce it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a situation in, I believe the last time we were here, when DVC was playing Laney College, where they got that penalty and instead they declined it. Instead of enforcing it on the kickoff, which would have put a very bad position for Manzo to be in. So
Yeah, it looks like they're
after the
spotting it at
penalty,
the
they're going to
20.
spot it down at the 20-yard line, and Schreiner's going to need to show as much leg as he's got. He's averaging 54.2 on the kick there, and he hasn't gotten one in the end zone yet. So for a team that we've seen so much punting from in the first, essentially the first 28 minutes of play, we haven't seen their punter once since. Bashir Vick is on the sideline just chilling.
No, the way the game started, I wouldn't have thought that any team would have scored 36 points this game.
Yeah. It's definitely been a tale of essentially two halves. So they'll go with the directional kick, and the squib will be fair caught at the 45-yard line. And that was Tidmore, the tight end, the sophomore on the fair catch there. So the Eagles are going to have some pretty decent field position from the 45-yard line now. And pretty decent. This is great field position, but they need to figure out who's going to play quarterback first of all, because in the last play out there, DeMontre Thomas was absolutely leveled as he scored the touchdown.
Looks like he's heading back out there, though. That's a good sign
great
for
to
Laney.
see. So Thomas needs to really kick this offense into overdrive, and this game is going to need to be relied on the on his shoulder now. Snap is off, and it will be a rush, actually. Right-hand side goes to Harris as Harris runs into the scrum, and he's eventually brought down after a gain of 0 on the play. Extracurricular activities between a blocking wide receiver and a defensive back far offside of the play, but no flag is thrown there. But this hurts the Laney Eagles. You're down this many points in 14 minutes, 30 seconds. You're fighting many enemies on the field. You're fighting the clock, and you're fighting the 11 on the field.
Yeah, at some point, Laney's going to have to abandon the run and just start taking their shots deep.
Yeah, I feel the same. Up back off the right-hand side. It's going to be a shotgun look for Thomas once again. Rolling out to his right, stumbles for a moment, able to throw it there, and it's caught right at the sticks and brought out of bounds. A nice pitch and catch on the play, and that went the way of Tidmore once again. Tidmore fair caught the ball last time out, and now he'll bring the ball out to the opposite 45-yard line, as that should be enough yardage to pick up the first down. I know, it'd actually be about half a yard short on the play. So and are they winding the clock?
Yep.
So they're saying I don't even know what they're calling there, because I thought he went out of bounds. So the clock continues to run here, and that hurts Laney a lot.
Unless they say that his forward momentum got stopped before he went out of bounds and he was going backwards.
Could quite possibly be that. So third down and short. Let's see if they take a shot here or if they elect to just run the ball. Thomas is going to be out there alongside Harris, and they will run the ball left-hand side. Harris springs it free, eventually brought down just by his belt loop almost. That's what it looked like. He was brought down at the 41-yard line as James Turrentine, the sophomore out of Pleasant Grove, made the tackle. I think he was legitimately brought down by his belt loop there.
Yeah, and he did a good job carrying about 300 pounds on that belt loop for about 3 yards. Unfortunately, just couldn't squeeze away and really break that into a bigger game.
So after that, the Eagles should get the first down, which should stop the clock. Oh, and this is not what you need. Unsportsmanlike conduct will be called on both teams, actually. So both those will be offsetting penalties.
Yeah, Laney's got to do a good job of keeping their composure. Composure down here the stretch. They're starting to lose it a little bit. You're seeing a lot more unsportsmanlike penalties getting called on them if they have any shot. And it's a slim shot already, but any shot, they got to keep their heads together and try to score points.
29-point game here as Thomas trying to answer the bell. Thomas stands tall. He throws. He has a man on the go route. It drops into the bucket at the 10-yard line, and a beautiful diving attempt to cap that one off. 41-yard pitch and catch. DeMontre Thomas finds his receiver. I believe that was Devin Franklin in for the touchdown.
Yeah, he's either Franklin or Regan Wilson, number 6. I can't quite see that far.
Yeah, let's see if we can
I think
get
it was number 6.
Yeah, it was Regan Wilson. So they've been targeting Regan Wilson all night long, and when they need it the most, he answers the call there. It was thrown over the top in double coverage, but Regan Wilson showed to be the better athlete in that position, putting himself in a position to be successful. So Manzo, he doinks it. Is that in? Yes.
That was
yeah, he doinked it off the left upright. It was able to find its way in, so it will be a 36-14 game, but another scary moment for the Eagles this evening.
And that was the matchup that I would have thought Laney was going to try to take advantage more of today. They haven't really gone for that deep go route against these ARC cornerbacks, which when you have such a good line like ARC does, you have to try to take some bigger chances. And they finally go to Wilson on the outside, and he has a great release on Cole Douglas, and he was able to beat him, and it was a great throw by the quarterback as well.
So it's great to see Thomas more than anything. I mean, even though this could possibly be the last game of his playing time here with the Eagles, but he took a big hit, man. I didn't think he would come back into this game, let alone be able to have enough on it to throw that dart down the field. I'm so happy to be able to see him healthy and able to still keep going.
Yeah, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there making millions of dollars who would have stayed down after that hit, being down 29-0. It takes a lot of heart to get back up, strap the helmet back on, come back out, and lead another drive down the field and score a touchdown.
36-14. The Eagles will have to kick it away. They have 2 timeouts in their pockets here, and still down 22. They will go with Gramajo once again, as Gramajo boots it away. This one will be fielded right at the goal line. He's going to bring it out. Franklin cutting towards the hash marks, 20. And he's eventually swung down at the 25-yard line. So no harm, no foul, no fair caught there. Oh, and there's a harm on the play as there's an injured Laney player on the field.
We have an injured player on the field.
Is that number 14?
40.
Let's see if we can catch it on our slightly delayed replay. That's 10.
10.
So Noah Iusefa injured on the play for Laney College. So with that, we'll take a break and be back on the other side. 12:52 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. 36-14 our score as ARC has taken the lead over the number 2 seed Eagles here at home. Very happy to see Iusefa able to get up and be assisted off the field, but no card is being drawn in. That's a great sight to see. Rick Becker, one of my favorite people on this earth, and the head trainer over at Laney College, helping him off the field. As I was recovering from my shoulder surgery many moons ago, I had Rick helping me with my recovery. I will tell you, it is intimidating having a 6'6", 350-pound trainer cranking out your surgically repaired shoulder. Carlisle is going to come into the game working left or right from the 25-yard line for the near hash mark, so we'll see what Carlisle has to do in this package now. It's going to be a handoff off the left side of the offensive line, swarmed down and eventually brought down after a loss of 2 on the play. Carlisle wasn't able to get anything going, but essentially his insertion of the game was the last drive that set up ARC into that position to essentially rattle off those 36 consecutive points.
Second and long for American River.
Second down and 11 after the tackle on the play, so it'll be second down and 11 from the 24-yard line between the hash marks here. Shotgun look for Carlisle now. Carlisle's going to clap his hands for a moment and then await the set. Trying to get a man in motion, but nobody goes, so he'll just take the ball now. Snap, handoff, having some space, breaks through the left hole, hurdles a defender. He's going to take out the 40-yard line, stands on the feet on the opposition 40 now, as he's brought down at the 35-yard line. And so Tariq Parker wanted the hurdle in the last time to get in the end zone right before the halftime break for the touchdown. This time he gets his highlight reel play, hurdles the defender, and takes it all the way down to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, he just wanted to make sure Laney knew that the first time wasn't a mistake.
Yeah,
he
it
can
wasn't
do
a
it whenever he wants, because that boy got up right there.
What a play and what an athletic feat from the sophomore running back out of Wheatland Union. That's going to set up ARC from the 35-yard line. Officially a 41-yard rush on the play. Tied in off the right-hand side. Calling for the snap is Carlisle. Carlisle hands it off once again. This one goes off the left-hand side of Moore. Moore fighting. And he runs into a defender before being brought down after a gain of 8 on the play. This one will go down to the 27-yard line as Charles Alberti, the safety, comes over the top to make the tackle for Laney.
Creates a second and short for American River.
Second down and 2 from the 27-yard line. 10:57 counting down in this game. Man, that Parker play was so clean it made me stutter. 2 receivers set to the near-hand side. Tadding off the left-hand side. Out of the shotgun look. And a flag will come in. I wasn't sure if it's a false start. I don't think it was a delay of game, so it must be a false start.
By the tight end's reaction, false start.
Yeah. And right on cue, the tight end Simpson.
Yep.
Barnes has been pretty quiet in this latter half of the game after he scored that wheel route touchdown. Hasn't really gotten anything going, but it's been going the opposite direction of Simpson. So when one tight end isn't going, the other one is. So how do you stop that, man? How do you stop that?
Yeah, it's almost looked like the old Patriots offense where they just had 2 tight ends, and it's pretty much try to stop these guys because they're just freaks in nature.
Handoff. Nope, it's a quarterback keeper. Keeps it, runs over the defender, and that's enough yardage to get the first down. A 9-yard rush on the play, and that's another nice pickup by Carlisle. Carlisle hasn't really been the guy to really have much going for this ARC offense, but man, he's looked impressive in his short stints now.
And this is the perfect situation for Carlisle too. He's a running quarter, or a better running quarterback.
That's a nice.
Yeah, better running quarterback. And with the situation up 16, trying to burn clock and put a drive together, he's the perfect fit for this, and be able to hand it off, run the option, run little dives if they need to. This is where he excels.
Pistol look once again, and it's going to be a stretch off the right-hand side. This time able to use his speed to get to the outside, stiff arm to the defender before being brought down after a couple on the play. And I believe that was Moore on the carry there. Yep, it was.
Run by Joshua Moore.
Joshua Moore carries it out to the 21-yard line as Parker comes back into the game in his stead now. But more than anything, the clock stops there. Oh, no, the clock keeps running. I thought he got out of bounds somehow.
Parker comes back in too. Running back.
Parker, he's had a heck of a night himself. 14 carries, 137 yards, and that 41-yard long. Carlisle keeps it himself. Right-hand side. avoids the defender at the 15-yard line before being brought down at the 10. And what a nifty move, just the shoulder fake getting forward. And flags flying on 2 different occasions now, so we'll have some dirty laundry to work out.
Looks like a holding and an unsportsmanlike by Laney as well. My favorite Parker stat of the night up to this point is the unofficial hurdle stat with 2. Because they have been impressive and fun to watch.
They're not tracked, but they're in our hearts. The scoreboard seems to have a little malfunction now as it shows 36-20 when the Eagles have scored 14 points this evening. So
that's why I said 16. I'm not bad at math, just too good at counting. Oh, now we got 42-14. Except they haven't missed an extra point, so that can't be right.
No, I believe the score is 36-14 as I try to help out the officials on on the play there. So after the penalties, the ball will be set up at the 15-yard line.
So 22-point game, not 14.
Yeah. Deuce.
Shout out Albany High School teaching me addition and subtraction, multiplication, and long division even.
You mean you learned that in high school and not in grade school?
You know, I slept a lot in class, Max. Sometimes it takes us to get to the finish line a little longer than others.
Hey, as long as you get there.
We can't
all the journey.
We can't all be rabbits. Some got to be the turtle.
And this, my friends, is why I bring Kyle here. This is why he gets paid the buku bucks. Not real money, buku money. 2 receivers set out the far-hand side. Carlisle stays in the game here. Parker's going to be dotting out on that pistol look. 8:25 counting down here. Claps, calls for the ball. It's going to be another stretch play off the right-hand side. Avoids the defender before jump cutting out to the 10-yard line. Spins inside of the 10, and he's brought down at the 7, at the 8. Let's call it the 8-yard line. Or, pardon me. Let's see. Where are they going to mark this one down? The glare of the light on the field is making it a little difficult to see. I think they marked that one down to the 9-yard line, so a 6-yard rush on the play. Handoff, throws it. Oh, and this one's intercepted. It's going to be taken out to the 25-yard line. Breaks the tackle there. He's going to take it down the far sideline 50. Out to the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10-5. Touchdown, Eagles. Kai West on a magnificent play. That's what the doctor called for. Kai West took it coast to coast, and Carlisle throws a pick 6 on the play.
Yeah, and Kyle West single-handedly breathes life into this Laney team. Time was running out. It was a 3-possession game. ARC's driving down the field. Huge pick by Kyle West. Huge return. Now Laney looks to make this a 15-point game with 7:18 left to go.
If I'm not mistaken, that's an 84-yard pick 6 on the play for Kai West there. He jumped up. He cut that one off. He said, hey, if we need some time there, I'm going to make it happen.
I think that was about a 92.
Snap is down. Kick is up. Able to cross the T on the PAT. So just like that, the Laney Eagles are able to answer the call and make it a 15-point game.
If he caught that at the line of scrimmage, that's a 92-yard interception for a touchdown.
Yeah, I was looking at the replay, and it looked like he got it behind the line of scrimmage there, but we'll see on the official stats. Yeah, so they're going to call that one an 88-yard pick 6. That's what Laney is built to do. Get those takeovers on the aggressive defensive back play and make it happen there. So.
And Kai West, again, showing his versatility.
He's been so good all night long.
So good. He's been showing up as their single high safety a lot of the night, but every once in a while they'll drop him down into the box. There with them being so close to the goal line, they drop him down into the box. It was play action trying to hit the screen on the back side. He just timed his jump perfectly. So hard to come down with the ball being that close to the quarterback and them throwing it. Typically, they're just batted down. Does a great job holding on to it.
And then takes it coast to coast.
Yeah, then having the sense of presence to realize where he's at, realize where the remaining offensive players, and when you pick off a screen, you don't typically have too many to beat, and then just having the speed where nobody can catch you. Great play by Kai West.
14 tackles, 10 solo, and that pick 6 for Kai West on the evening. So, Laney's trying to fight back here. They do have 2 timeouts in their pocket, so a lot of success has been on ARC. Aside from that pick 6, like, they really haven't been slowed down so far this game. So, if the Eagles are gonna get something done, they need to do so in an emphatic manner, and that's one way to get it going.
ARC's setting up for an onside kick return, too.
The deep man is Robert Freeman II, but yeah, why not? You need to steal these possessions away. I could see them kicking it deep, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Freeman's only at about the 12-yard line at this point, still backing up a little bit, but ARC's got their whole team up.
So Manzo actually does go for the onside kick. The flag's coming at the end of the play, as it looks like Laney actually recovered the onside kick, but it looks like...
Or are they going to get called for offside?
Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to be called for offsides. That's unfortunate because the body language, the head fake, and everything from Manzo, that was a beautiful drawn-up onside kick there. But unfortunately, just got a little too far ahead of yourself if you're the Laney Eagles, and that one will be brought back.
That's unfortunate, too, because that was such a great onside kick.
Yeah. Just got too far ahead of yourselves there. The Laney defender was able to come inside and steal the ball away from the
I think they'll have another
ARC
shot at
player
it, though, too, if they want. I'm pretty sure it's a re-kick.
Yeah, because they got that ball, I think it is a re-kick. You're right.
Oh, well, I just don't think the kick counts because it was offsides or false start.
That's fair. So, the ball will be backed up to the 30-yard line now. So, between the hash marks, it'll actually be Garmajo, not Manzo. So, pardon me on that one. And the interesting thing about Garmajo is he's able to boot it away all the way down to the goal line with the 3-step drop. So, you set up that same way when you do an onside kick. And I think that body language is part of the reason why they were able to be so successful in that one.
There's also a huge gap in the middle of the field, too, where if you're able to just do a little pooch kick in there and just play quickest man to the ball there, it's very difficult to go backwards and try to catch a bouncing ball if you have somebody able to get there in time. It's another option.
Forward, Garmajo's going to do a little two-man game. Oh, another offside call there, as they brought up both the kickers, Jesse Manzo and Billy Garmajo. So Garmajo came forward, and then Manzo booted away on the traditional onside kick look when you try to get that jump ball. But the ball was fielded down by ARC, and it looked like Laney was offsides for his second consecutive play.
That was a great kick, too.
That was a great kick.
That thing came in low and hard, kind of like Messi's goal today against Mexico.
Offsides kicking team. And then this one will likely be, so I was right before.
Yep.
Because they
Declined
were,
it.
exactly.
Yep.
No, so they accepted the penalty, but they had the possession. So the possession changed from ARC, or from Laney to ARC, whereas before Laney kept it. Come on, Kyle, you're gaslighting me.
No, I think we're saying the same thing in different words.
There you go. English is a difficult language, all right?
Absolutely. Hardest language to learn.
And Leith is back in the game as he hands the ball off over the right-hand side of the line. Tried to cut it back was Joshua Moore. And Moore is hurt, or pardon me, an offensive lineman on the play is hurt at the end of the play. That's the left tackle, Christian Newberry-Jones.
Yeah, and he got rolled up on at the end, unfortunately.
So the pace of this game has slowed down dramatically since the pick 6 of, that was Kai West, right? Yeah.
Yep. Who else?
Who else? So for the Laney Eagles, this timeout actually gives them a so Laney will take the timeout. I thought the medical timeout would allow them to not have to burn a timeout. But that's what the official called for. So with that, let's take a break ourselves. 7:09 remaining in this fourth quarter play. Laney answers back after a terrific drive down the field from ARC. They drove all the way inside of the 10-yard line, but instead Kai West had other ideas. He took that ball out of the air, snatched it down, and took it coast to coast for an 88-yard pick six. So back on the other side of the break from Eagles Stadium. So it doesn't look like Laney will be charged for that last timeout here. So the clock does stop, and they do not have to use the timeout for 7:13. Oh, and they finally take the timeout there. Another handoff goes the way of Joshua Moore, and Joshua Moore took a hard hit at the end of the play. I believe that was Jackson Kink for the number 2 seed Laney Eagles flying in for the tackle. It's going to be third down and long after the tackle for about a 1-yard loss on the play. Last time it will be taken by the Laney Eagles as they trail by 15 points here with 7:09 remaining in the fourth quarter of play. .09 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. 36-21 is our score. In this position, if ARC isn't able to get anything going, as I expect them to run it, but this would be a 51-yard field goal attempt from the spot. They missed a 52-yard field goal attempt in the first quarter of play. Leith out of the shotgun look once again. Laney bringing pressure across the board. Leith's going to stand tall in the pocket. He's going to throw us. He's hit at the very end of the play. Goes up high and makes the grab. Barthel climbed the ladder. His 5'11" frame, man, he went up about 6 feet 8 up in the air as he snagged that one out. Got out of bounds on the play, so the clock will stop, but a big third and long pickup on the play, and that sets up ARC in a very good position now.
It was a great catch, but it was also a great throw.
Yeah, that ball was just placed perfectly.
Yeah, Carlisle double clutched in the pocket, able to see him
hit as he was throwing as well.
And still threw that ball in the money.
So Leith, after the great delivery last time out, he'll line up bunch formation off the right side of the offensive line. Handoff this time. Shows some patience as he continues to churn the feet, has 4 different Laney defenders on top of him as the ball pops out at the end of the play. Swarmed on top of, dropped on top of, and I think Laney's got this one.
This is going to be huge if Laney
And
does.
Laney is celebrating there. They were able to get on top of the ball, force the fumble. It looked like a strong run by Joshua Moore on the play as Moore ran, carried the pile. But that's the problem when you carry a pile. There's a lot of hands swarming at that ball, and that's exactly what happened. The ball was kicked away as a Laney defender, I believe, is down on the play at the end of it. So fortunately for Laney, another good play that sets them up in a position to actually do well here, down 15 with 6:22 remaining, but unfortunately, a player is down on the field for Laney. It looked like Grayson Barnes and another player collided. So after the change of possession, the ball should be spotted down at the 11-yard line or the 10-yard line. So Laney's still got a shot in this one.
Yeah, no, the turnovers have been big. They're only down 15 with 6:22 left to go. If they can get one or two big plays here quickly, that's enough time for their defense to go back out, make a quick stop, and at least give your offense one last chance at the end of the game to tie it up.
And with the way that Thomas has been playing in the second half, you do have to. He's been playing very well, and he's been managing the game, and he's been delivering the deep ball as well.
He has, and the outside receivers have done a great job getting separation, beating their cornerbacks early in the route process. Give Thomas a clear picture of where to throw it, let him feel comfortable while throwing it, and put a confident pass on the numbers.
So after the turnover, we're going to see what Laney has in store here. They will have to drive the length of the field as the ball is spotted down at the 9-yard line. 3 receivers set along the far side of the field. Thomas is going to be out there in the shotgun look, working right to left from the near hash mark. A lot of ARC fans in the building as we're getting a huge defense chant here. Thomas scans the defense, 2 high safeties there as he'll eventually empty it out and get an empty set. 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. From the near hash mark, Thomas steps up, he throws it short, and it's off the fingertips of the defender. That ball had disaster written all over it. Fortunately for Laney, Josh Tremaine wasn't able to bring that one in.
That was a great read by Josh, though. Able to see it. He wasn't quite able to complete the interception, but 2nd and 10, you'll still take that. ARC trying to get the momentum back. They've had 2 turnovers lately.
Yeah, but Laney
trying to put this game away.
Laney being +3 in the turnover margin has put them in a position to come back in this one. Another quick pass, and it'll go through the hands of its intended receiver. Tried to thread it through a 2-receiver window, trying to find that soft spot in the zone, but unable to hook up with his wide receiver, Musa Wair.
Yeah, and Laney's going to have to try to attack down the field because ARC, it looks like they're just playing man coverage straight across, or that Packer defense. But
yeah, the bracket.
Yeah, that bracket. But, you know, if you're going to run screen passes and those quick passes without it, they didn't even have any blockers there. ARC's corners are playing way too close to the line of scrimmage.
Trips out to the far-hand side as Thomas comes out. He takes a 3-step drop. He throws it near sideline and is off the fingertips of his intended receiver. The intended receiver on the play for Laney College was Mikkel Fuller.
And these are the situations no offense wants to be in. 4th and 10 at the shadow.
At the 9-yard line, yeah.
Shadow of your end zone. This almost feels like this could be the ball game right here if they don't get it.
Yeah, you turn it over here. ARC has the opportunity to just run it a couple times getting there.
Yeah, you'll be on life support for sure at that point if you don't get it, and ARC is going to have a chance for a really quick dagger.
So let's see what the sophomore quarterback out of Eugene, Oregon has in store. He calls the set here. It's going to be trips out to the near-hand side. From the 9-yard line, out of the shotgun look. Thomas gets the knee-high snap. He looks, throws it far-hand side, and that is a tough bang-bang play. There's no fouls, or there's no flags on the field as they tried to throw the route over to Musa Wair. Wair contested by the defender, and ARC will get the turnover on downs.
Yeah, great defensive play by ARC. Laney tried to just single out a wide receiver out there on the outside. ARC pretty much played bracket coverage on him.
Yeah, it was double coverage over the top, and then eventually Cole Douglas was able to swap that ball away. So now inside of their own 10-yard line, Laney College gives up the ball. And let's see if Leith is able to put the dagger in over here. It's going to be Parker and Leith in the backfield. 2 tight ends set off the right side of the offensive line. Stretch over on the right-hand side. Space along the right sideline. Jump cuts back inside as he's brought down at the 5-yard line.
Parker's been running really good today.
4-yard rush on the play as Parker picks up a... Man, that was a good run. Even though it only went forward for 4, great run.
Yeah, I know all the talk's been about Jacob Harris this year with Laney and what he's been able to do, but Parker's done a great job today and been explosive when he needs to, been patient when he needs to, and just has always been moving forward, turning those legs, running hard, and also making big-time plays when he can.
Second down and goal from the 4.5-yard line now. And they're going to take as much time off the clock as possible. 5 minutes, 20 seconds counting down in this fourth quarter of play. Laney College trailing 15 to the visiting number 3 seed ARC Beavers. Snap is off. It's another handoff. Runs into his own blocker before getting pushed forward. And he might be actually dropped for a loss on the play. They'll say Parker was only able to essentially get back to the line of scrimmage before being stopped there. But the clock continues to churn. Looks like there is an injured Eagles defender on the field, so unfortunately, a lot of injuries coming in the latter part of this game.
Yeah, on both sides too. Thankfully, this one looks like he's just cramping the way they're stretching him out.
It's either that or groin. I can't really get a vantage point from this thing. No, they're stretching him out.
Oh yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah. I was the king of the cramps. Unfortunately, there's a reason I don't like mustard. They used to throw me a mustard packet every single time I'd cramp because the potassium and the salt from the mustard packet helps you. So there's nothing like some packet Gatorade to wash down a packet of mustard.
That's where I was fortunate enough to play quarterback, and I just didn't do conditioning. So.
You know what your conditioning was? It was running sideline to sideline, getting the calls.
Heck yeah, no cramping for me, but they did not look fun when I saw other participants in practice bend over and need that good stretch. I was great at helping out those in need.
When in need, Cal is there for you. So able to get off the field and continue to stretch it out on the far sideline. The clock will start to churn once again. 4:50 counting down. The play clocks, unfortunately, tonight have not been functional, so we can't really give you an insight into how that's been going on. But it's going to be third down and goal from the 5-yard line as the clock continues to churn down. Under 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play now.
And the play clock's got to be down soon if the clock's been running, because ARC took a long time to get on the field, and it seems like the
look at this,
game clock's been running for a while.
It's that same wishbone knee formation that we've seen so successful tonight. Under center, it's going to be a dive off the left-hand side, and it goes to the fullback. He surges his way forward for a 5-yard rushing touchdown. The wide pads of Casey Ridley were able to find enough space in that sliver along the left-hand side, and he's able to dive his way in for a touchdown. 42-21 as ARC uncorks the dagger.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Casey's getting through the hole, it's a little bigger than a sliver. Because that's a big boy running.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, running behind his pads. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that. Great vision, though, and able to get a touchdown and really seal this thing away.
Barnes the snapper, Gallen the holder, Schreiner to kick it. Offsides for Laney, but a very successful PAT will likely be a decline foul. So 42-21 with 4:08 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Wow. I didn't expect either team to have a performance like this tonight.
No, the way the game started out, too, it looked like it was going to be such a defensive battle. The fact that we have 63 points, 64 points now as the scoreboard changes, they've really done this in about 2.5 quarters worth of football.
So let's give you a rundown of how that play was successful. So after a forced turnover, great job by the Eagles to be able to get in that position to force the turnover. The ball was spotted down the 9-yard line, but unfortunately the Eagles weren't able to get anything going with Jamontre Thomas as well as his slew of receivers. 4 incomplete passes in a row, all underneath routes trying to get right at the sticks, but unfortunately for the Eagles, great defense, great man-to-man defense across the board, and that forced another turnover, so that set up the ARC Beavers at the 9-yard line, and then from there it was a couple runs, a couple injuries, and it was capped off by that 5-yard rushing touchdown by Casey Riley.
Yeah, and it's really been the story of the Laney offense the whole day, really. It's quick possessions. They're either going on long plays or quick possessions, and bites you every time when you got to have the defense get back out there so quick.
So this ball is bobbled, kept alive, trying to take it to the far-hand side now. Able to sliver through some space out to the 30-yard line. Only the kicker to beat, and he's eventually brought down by the kicker past midfield. What a heads-up play from Jacob Harris, able to handle the ball in the two-hop skipper, or the two-hop bobble, rather. Unfortunately, though, the kicker was able to get him down. Schreiner, the saving grace, as Laney trying to answer the call.
Schreiner doing his best Pat McAfee impression over there. Big leg, and then will lay down the lumber when needed on the back end of the kickoff return.
Hey, kickers are athletes too, okay?
That they are. Shout out Pat McAfee. Big time listener.
Big time listener of our program. Okay, so Demontre Thomas is going to have to answer the call here with 4 minutes remaining. It's a quick throw. It's going to be caught underneath, caught at the 40-yard line, so the clock will continue to run as it was a pitch and catch from Thomas over to Wilson. This will be 2nd down and 2 after the play. Hurrying up to the line now. 3:40 counting down. Thomas is going to come into the shotgun look. 2 receivers on each side. His heels are on the 46. Drops the ball, able to handle it, throws it away, and instead it's caught. Was he past the sticks enough for the clock to run? No, he's far short. So unfortunately, that ball should have just been dropped, but a completed pass will keep this clock running. Unless it's not, because the clock seems to be stopped right now.
Looks like he got out of bounds.
Oh, he did? Okay. Hard to get it from my vantage point here.
Oh, no, never mind. Clock's running again.
No, clock is running. So a gain of 1 on the play, but the clock is the biggest enemy for the Eagles here. Another pistol spread look here. Belt high snap, fumbles it for a moment, and then hands it off over to Harris as Harris runs right into a slew of different defenders. And that'll be 4th down and about 1 after the play. So the ball will be spotted down at 4th and 1. That ball is going to be at the 38-yard line. 4th and short here. Another shotgun spread look now. Thomas scans the field. 2:45 counting down. Going to be another quarterback draw up the gut, able to get enough yardage for the 1st down. So when in doubt, you go with that quarterback draw. So Thomas is able to move the chain, so the clock should stop momentarily. They need to hurry up to the line, though. Harris barking the call to his offensive lineman. Harris is going to be in the backfield alongside. Thomas hurries to the line. 2:33, he gets the snap off. Pressure comes, he throws it. Oh, and it's brought in at the 6-yard line, and he streaks in for another touchdown.
They called it a fumble. He let go of it too early. That's going to be a touchback, ARC football.
Regan Wilson caught at the 6-yard line as he streaked in, but unfortunately got a little too far ahead of himself, dropped it at the goal line, and that is insult to injury if anything. He fumbles the ball. It's a touchback, and ARC will get it from the 20.
Yeah, and the bad part is, I think the ref got the call right.
Let's check on a replay here. Catches it, brings it in at the 6. Yeah, he drops it at the 1.
Did he?
He drops it at the 1. He's been having a heck of a night himself. Regan Wilson has been the #1 target for the Eagles. But he dropped the ball at the 1. Heartbreaking.
Yeah. When I saw that live, I was like, ooh, that's close. And I saw the blue beanbag come out, and I was like, I think the ref thought the same thing, unfortunately. And after a quick little conference with the refs in the end zone, they concur. ARC football.
That'll about do it there. I mean, if you stop them here.
And that's a rough way to end your season, too.
Man, that is so tough. If you stop them here, you should have about under 30 seconds left on the clock by the time you get the ball back. I mean, the writing's been on the wall, but that's tough. Handoff off the right side of the line. They continue to churn forward with their rushing game. And did you get a number on the carrier? I wasn't able to see. I think
34.
34. So, 34 is Teray Hendrick, the freshman out of Folsom. He's going to be the back that closes out the game for ARC.
A lot of clean uniforms out there for ARC to close this thing out. That's every coach's dream.
And a few injuries to the offensive line that they're going to have to shake past it. Snap is off. Another handoff. Hendrick works off the left side of the line. He's going to find some space along there before being corralled down near the sticks. He'll be brought down at the 30. If they give it to him at the 31, then that'll be a first down.
By 34, Hendrick close to the first down.
Looks like it's going to be 3rd and short.
It's going to be 3rd down and half a yard with 1:22 counting down. But as this one's been written, essentially, so ARC will get the victory, and they will face San Mateo at 12 p.m. in the 3C2A Northern California Football Final. So the Beavers, despite starting their season 1-3, and despite the fact that they were in that odd position with the forfeit to end this season, they will be the ones smiling at the end of this evening. Under 1 minute to play here at Eagles Stadium, and the base 6 leader falls.
Yeah, and ARC, they were a little rusty at first, but that first rust argument definitely looked like it played out, because once they were able to find their footing, it didn't take them too long, about a quarter and a half. But once they did, they just looked quick. They looked athletic. You can tell their legs were fresh, and especially Parker just jumping over half the team, it seems like. ARC really outplayed Laney in just about every aspect of the game today.
Yeah, the only aspect would be the turnover margin. Despite the 2 bad turnovers from Laney,
I mean,
it still is a +1 turnover margin. I mean, they did everything that they could, but as we talk about it, something I've noticed tonight, Josiah Nguluvu wasn't in this game tonight.
Yeah.
Didn't get anything in the scouting report about it, but when you're missing your defensive player of the year in the basics, that's going to be a big aspect of the game. But yeah, didn't play one single snap tonight. I don't even think I saw his number on the sideline. So that's
always
a tough
going to
break.
hurt when your best defender is not out there.
So they'll come out here and they'll line up. They're going to be in victory formation here, but I think you actually need to. Oh, no, they gave him the first down. So victory formation, the knee will be taken down. And Leaf and the crew come into Eagle Stadium, and, man, they get it done. What a terrific performance. What started out as a back-to-back defensive game essentially into the last 2 minutes of the first half of play. And then since then, it's been an explosion of offense by the way of ARC. Laney did well just to answer a few different calls. Big pick 6 by Kai West put them in a position to actually be only down 15 at that point, and then another fumble allowed them to actually get back in the game with one opportunity there. But unfortunately for the Eagles, they fall at home. Congratulations to ARC, 1-3 on the to start the season, but since then they rattled off a plethora of victories. They finished the season 7-3 on a 5-0 winning streak.
Yeah, ARC did a really good job. Every time Laney tried to claw their way back into the game, ARC would make a big play and shut the door right back down on them.
Yeah, last time these two teams played, it was a defensive battle, and Laney essentially won on the last play. This time, ARC made all the adjustments. They got all their anger out on the Laney Eagles, and they got it done. John Osterhout was talking about just trusting the process and believing in the system that they built. And as their confidence has grown, the performances have shown top to bottom as the Beavers, as the number 3 seed, will go into the number 1 seed, San Mateo, to play the Bulldogs for the 3C2A Northern California Football Final on Saturday the 3rd. So I believe that coverage will be called by BAOSN. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate you for joining alongside. For all our production staff, for Kyle, for myself, Max Agrest, this has been a fun evening. And until next time, Enjoy your evening.